Coming up next on BBC Two, it's the BradWOTO stream. But first, it's time for What's in the Lunchbox?
Yes, that's correct. It's time for another fantastic edition of What's in the Paw Patrol Lunchbox, featuring something. What's in there? What's in the lunchbox? Can you guess? A lone AirPod. Cookie dough. A cream egg. Oh, I saw an advert for Domino's cookies with cream egg in. You fuckers. I would have killed for those a year ago. Old cookies, a pen, another Friday roast, chat roast stream. I'm not wearing anything weird. Am I? It can't happen again. I actually almost put on that same shirt today and was like, oh fuck, if I do this, it's gonna start something. It's gonna start something. Bum ba da pa 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 pum pum. Pa 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 da pa pum. What do you think's in the lunchbox, guys? It seems like you think it's a dog treat. I actually showed it and you still got it wrong. It was this. I ran out of Tupperware, So I had to store my cookies that I baked in here. Let's take a look at them. Not bad, I say. Gooey. Crumbly. He did it. Chunky though. Chunky, bro. You kind of can't see him. This thing looks dirty. It's not. I swear it's clean. Can't even focus on it. It's fucking boiling. I'm not drinking any of that. I don't like hot drinks. I like hot drinks to become cold. And then I drink them. Now I'm gonna have chocolate in my teeth. Wave back to me. Wave fucking back. Not you. Fucking goblin. Little goblin. Hi everybody and welcome to another live stream. With me. Fucking Groundhog Day. It's fucking hot in here, but I think if I open the window, the dog is going to absolutely fucking lose her mind. So I might just suffer for a bit. Are you good? What's happening to her? Why are you staring at me? Because you want some of this fucking cookie, innit? You can't eat it, bro. It's double choc chip. You'll die. You've already had a bad enough stomach. I'm not dealing with that shit again. I'm not dealing with that literal shit again. Scum. Please. That's a fucking bat. That's what that is. Me and my sister call it a bat. It's a bat without its wings. Heads up, Brad. Daylight savings this Sunday. Fuck off. Daylight savings UK. Oh. No, it isn't. It's in fucking 3 weeks, you bastard. Fuck you. Fucking scumbag. Sunday the 30th of March, guys. Don't fucking listen to these Americans who have no concept that there are other countries in the world and have any fucking... They have no idea, dude. They have no idea that there are other countries on the planet. It is absolutely insane. Death to all of them. Death to all of them. What does it go, forward or back? Is this the annoying one? Or is the other one the annoying one? I think the other one's the annoying one. Earlier, so it would be 1 o'clock right now, so it will be 8 a.m. that the stream will go live. Maybe I can trick the Americans to start watching at 8 a.m. and then just continue that and start streaming at 1 from now on. So what does that mean? We have to go to bed earlier or later? Did I show a foot? Did I show a foot for free on the stream just then? It means we have to go to bed earlier or later? Stop saying you lose an hour and answer the fucking question. How am I 8 minutes into the stream? Going to bed earlier because you're waking earlier. That's fine. This is the good one then. The other one's the bad one. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. Orkish is here. Absolutely riddled with COVID. Absolutely. The one way you guarantee to give yourself COVID is traveling. I've literally not met anyone who has traveled and hasn't come back with COVID in the last 4 years. So, write him off for a week. We'll see him in a week. We'll see him next week. He's done. He'll be down and out. So what? That'll kick in. It's like 3 or 4 days before it kicks in. So you got back today. You got back last night. So you're looking at Sunday, Monday. You'll notice it. Sunday, Monday. That little sore throat, that tickle's gonna kick in, dude. Oh, my throat feels a bit weird. Enjoy your last couple. Get everything done you need to get done today. Make sure you buy a bunch of stuff. Buy all your food. Get a bunch of food in. Get some vitamin D in. Get some vitamin C in. Do it now, because you ain't going to want to do it. Tuesday, you ain't going to want to do nothing. Tuesday, you ain't going to want to do nothing. I'll tell you that much for free. Bear of Flame, thank you for the 70-month resub. Pitsky, thank you for the tier 2 54-monther. What a goddamn hero. I've picked up trash for years. No COVID. Went out of town for a few days. COVID. Yeah. Yeah. That's how you get COVID every time. It's awful. It is the way. I had it. It's only just gone away as well. Like I had it for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. I had it for, it was 1 week of awful, 2 weeks of this is annoying. And it kind of just left me. I can still feel the infection in the side of my head. I know what you're doing. You're like trying to like cast a little reflect spell on me, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter what state you turn up to this thing in, because you show up to everything in the same fucking mood anyway. It doesn't matter if you've got COVID. It doesn't matter if you've had fucking 8 hours sleep or 2. You just fucking act like an asshole for an hour and leave. So it doesn't affect me. I don't give a shit about this other fucking thing that we're doing on Tuesday. You can't reflect this on me, you bitch. Enjoy your fucking COVID, you whore. This fucking guy, dude. Oh, I can't wait for him to be sick for a week so I can just annihilate him every day. Every day I'm going to call him 3 times a day. And just fucking go in. Oh, I can't wait for him to be sick for longer than like 3 days so I can just like... I want him to be sick for multiple months so that when he's in that absolute dire state of misery, you just get miserable when you've been so unwell for longer than like a week. You just become miserable. There's nothing getting you through it anymore. You just like, fuck this, fuck everything. And then I'm going to get him, dude. I'm going to be straight in there, dude. Orkish, dude. Running on fucking 3 hours of sleep. Riddled with COVID. It's going to be brilliant. Dude, he's going to have the mental capacity of someone mid-stroke. I'm going to get him then. I'm going to get in there, dude, with a knife. It's going to be brilliant. Can't wait. Been looking forward to it for half a year. It is fucking warm in here. Now I am wearing a hoodie. I can't open this window because there's a spider up there, and I can't open the other window because there's a spider up there, so I just have to live with this window here open. But it ain't enough. What's going on? What's the temperature in here? Is it fucking 24 again? What's going on Fridays? They're cooking stuff downstairs, aren't they? What the fuck? Cooking shit? Little bro? I think they're cooking some fucking meth.
Get on your bed, son. Get the fuck on your bed. And don't fucking move again. You sit there and you entertain them. What the fuck do you think I'm fucking paying you for, eh? You think you're getting paid to trot around this fucking place like a little princess? No. You sit on your dog bed and you look cute like a weird little goblin bat.
I look an absolute wreck. I look like Orcish Fields. I look like Orcish Fields, dude. Looking an absolute... Smelling good. Smelling good, but look bad. Smelling good, look bad. What are we doing today? Nothing, really. Sort of have nothing planned, really. Consider doing some more Legendos dos Zeldos, because I do enjoy that game quite a lot. I do enjoy it quite a lot. Oh, I get the free draw. Has anyone got any... It can't land on these bottom three, can it? It's not possible. It can't fucking land on the bottom, can it? You got a variant on there? Fuck. Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it. Well, if you say so. PB's awake. Who's tuning in to Don't Die tonight? PB is running a D&D 5e 2024 rule set game tonight. Absolutely no way she knows the rules to D&D. She doesn't know the rules to 5e. She's no way she knows the rules to fucking 2024. So this is going to be fun, because none of us do. Me, Whack, and PB playing. Absolutely no hope that any of us know. Can't wait for everyone in the chat room.
Actually, they updated and changed that.
It's going to be don't kill. Don't kill. You know? Don't fucking kill these fucking people. I keep saying I don't have scrolls, but I have 4. I had that, yeah. I keep having that as well. I think there's a bug with the update. Don't die. What is it, Brad? What is it, Brad? Tune in tonight. What the hell was that, Brad? He didn't play again. Fuck. Why doesn't it work? Tonight on Table Story, new show. 4-week run. If you're interested. Episode 1. Yep. Don't need to have seen anything ever before. Just fucking tune into this shit. If you want. If you want. Have another bite of one of these incredible cookies that I baked. Look at that. That came out exactly as planned. Fuck. Didn't see that. But some chocolate rolled under the desk and now I don't know where it's gone. The rats will get it. I'd tune in just to see your smiles. Okay, creepy. I mean, the most creepy, you know? What a fucking weirdo. Creepy message. Tell me that ain't a creepy message. Tom Toasted, thank you for the 67-month resubscription. Old pal. Old buddy, old pal, old friend. I'm sorry, when is Andor season 2? When does that begin? After Daredevil. Every week after Daredevil. Have you seen the trailer yet? I don't watch trailers. I'm worried for it. First season was so great. Is it the same people writing it? They planned the whole thing to be more than one season though, right? It's different if they write like, if they're like, oh, we have 2 seasons, they write the whole thing with that in mind. So I'm less bothered with when they do that. If it's the same people writing it, the guy that wrote all the Bourne movies, I think it'll be fine. It's probably, I just want them to make it more Star Warsy this time. Unban request from that guy yesterday. Hey PewDiePie guy. I said, how old are you? They said 12. Banned. I'm actually 13. I love that they didn't even try and be like, they didn't even try and be like, I'm 43, dude. You know, I'm 43 years old. Denied. Yeah. No, thank you. Huh? Would I like? No, thank you. No, I'm quite full. Thank you. What's that? Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, no, it seems, it's really, no, thank you. All right. Doing one of them. It was going to be more seasons with time jumps, but they ended up making this last season crunch down. That might be a good thing, though. That's usually okay with TV shows and bad with movies. Surprised he's still got his account. I don't know if they... can work that quickly, can they? My shoulders feel horrible. Absolutely horrible, to be honest. Not looking forward to sitting still all day today. It's one of the days where I sit here for quite a long time. Friday. I usually get up. This morning I didn't, but usually I get up and I do some work on a Friday morning, and then I do this stream, and then we do a table story show, and I basically spend the whole day sat here, and I wake up on a Saturday like, ah! So I prawn at this desk. Probably should get a posture check redeem. We do a posture check redeem. Check your posture, boy. I'll probably just react to that with PDA though. Don't forget to eat. The fuck? What? The fuck has that got to do with anything? Why did you say that? What's happened to you, Safety Stab? You are two fails. You're 2 fails in. 2 fails in. You only get 3. 1 more fail from you and you're done. Because you'll be sitting there all day working. Alright, look. How old do you think I am?
Obama.
The fuck are you talking about? I don't get to eat. Like I'm not fucking 38. You know? I love having PDA. Love it.
Don't forget to brush your teeth.
Hi, Sean Vertigo. Thank you for the cash. Of course, cash subs at the moment will go towards spinning of a wheel. Right? Spin wheel. Zero of 10 so far. No subs today. I'm 300 subs down. Would be great if you were ever gonna sub to have that be now. Because this could be it. This could be it. Ladies and gents. And all of the others. Inclusive streamer BradWOTO at your service. We're just killing time until don't die, by the way. That's all I'm doing all day. Quantum What's It said, fuck yeah, spin that bitch. Quantum What's It said, fucking what? Fucking what did you say? Quantum What's It said, what the fuck, bro? Shadow said, here's some money, you fucking hobo. I'm 4K away from a permaban. Oh yeah, ban Toodles on there. Black Cap Chickadee said, here's some fucking money, you fucking slut. Damn, why would you say that, Chickadee? That's fucked up, man. That's not cool. You can't just be fucking calling people sluts.
I mean, if the hat fits, you fucking whore. You fucking whore. Take your money and get the fuck out.
Retrosphere said, I'm still recovering from a severe migraine and don't know what I'm doing, but I've clicked this button. Wonder what it does. Insta Rage says, here you go. This is the best I can do for you today. You've had enough of my money over the years and I don't like you. Moonfish says, I hate odd numbers. Let's spin that motherfucking wheel. Guys, it's time for a game of marbles on stream. Are you updated? Nope. What type of update is this? 8 gig? What the fuck? The whole game isn't 8 gig. Oh, it's 19 megabytes. Okay. Imagine. 8 fucking gig, dude. Alright, winner of marbles on stream gets has to gift me a sub. Winner of marbles on stream gets, what do they get, guys? They get a button press. Wow, all to themselves. They get a handy. They get a stale cookie. VIP for 1 minute. Eternal glory. Pick a wheel reward. Get the fuck out of here, Shadow. Shadow trying to bankrupt me. Have this fucking paid for thing for free. Get the fuck out of here, dude. What do you think we're doing this for? This fucking guy, he's about to fucking lose his job, dude. You're gonna get fired at this rate. How dare you? Marbles on stream. Hasn't been played for 2.5 years. Last time we played this was June 26th, 2023. 4 days before my 36th birthday. 37th? 36th? I don't know. Game doesn't run. Oh, running install script, Microsoft VC redistributable. What a word. You get a 10 question, you get 1 question. That's what you get. Winner gets 1 question that I will answer with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me as Odin is my witness. So help me as Odin is my witness. Then we're going to talk about D&D. I actually have a video that I want to watch. That is... Do you want to watch a 33-minute video, chat? Together? Is that fun? Or is that just like, don't do that. We'll do that on our own time. I normally don't watch a video, like, I hate watching anything longer than like 30 seconds. But we haven't got anything better to do today. Depends on the video. Well, that wasn't the question. It was a yes or no answer. So fucking stop being such a brat today, chickadee. Nobody likes a brat. Why is this taking so long to install the redistributable Microsoft thing? Is it fucking broken? Is this how long it normally takes to install this shit? What is happening? Please don't fucking crash the computer just to play one fucking shit game of marbles on stream. Oh. Crashed already. Let me log in on Twitch. Oh wow, there's seasonal boosts now. Wow. Wow. Some seasonal. Oh my god, and a season 59 only skin? Hell yeah, dude. Get a fucking custom foreskin. I'm in one of those moods, aren't I? What do I want to do? A race. One race. Random. Sure. What is this song? It's like fucking burst and pop. Okay, there you go. Type exclamation point play. I don't know if it's working or not. Aeroflame, yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. I mean, burst and pop, you know what I mean? The music. Winner gets to ask me any one question, and I will answer it with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I swear on God. I'm religious now, so. Gamble? How do you gamble on this? Will someone win? Yes or no? Pick 2 marbles. Bet on who finishes first. I'm not doing that. Alright, fine, I'll do it. Prediction. Is that what you mean? Who will win? Who will beat the other marble? Okay, it's going to be Lux. Are you in? Lux versus Shadow? Lux and Shadow in? I see Shadow. Okay. Lux versus Shadow. Oh, we can do more options. Who is Lily's in here? I think she is. You in here, Lily's? Mods? Mod race? You want to see Lily's in there? Yeah, you are. Lily's. Mod racing. Alright, 1 minute to predict. Prediction started. Lux versus Shadow versus Lily's marbles. For a little bit of poo point gambling on a Friday. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please subscribe because I need to make 300 subs up. All right. We need some more music, don't we? Where's my epic playlist? Problem with that epic playlist is it sometimes gets a little DMCA'd now because everything's fucking annoying on the internet because we live in a fucking corporate capitalist nightmare dystopian fucking future. You know. Here we go. All right, the bets are in for the mod racing. Lux will win 40% of the points on Lux, 33% on Shadow, 27% on Lily's. Let's go to the mods now for their comments. How do you feel about that, Lux? How do you feel about that, Shadow? How do you feel about that, Lily's? Lux, very happy. Brad Darkside in the chat. I shall win. I mean, that fucking Eastern European fucking fury kicking in. Instantly transforms into Juggernaut. Breaks through a fucking wall. Lily's butthurt, crying in the corner. Classic white girl response from Lily's. Shadow says, I am ready. Immediately becomes a character from a JRPG. Alright, here we go, guys. How do I even begin? Start. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're off. How do I move around? Okay, WASD. Wow, Lily's in the lead. Nyanar following up. Absolutely no one even on there. Coconuts, Goblin Bearer Flames in there. Shadow and Lux behind by so far. Lily's so massively in the lead. That is unreal. Can she hold the lead though? This doesn't mean anything yet. I've seen some major upsets. It doesn't look like the longest course ever either, does it? Let's see. Can Lily's hold that lead? Sort of moving very slowly here. Shadow catching up. Shadow catching up. I don't know what happens, how Lily's makes it up this thing. You just are able to fly. Okay. I don't know how to use the controls on marbles. Here we go. Lily's. Lux in the rear. Will not be making any jokes about that, but no Lux that I wanted to. Lily's still in the lead. Shadow very close. Oh, did he? No, he didn't. Someone, a Zelda, slipped through the hole there. Zelda, as Zelda is often one to do. Lily's with the perfect, absolutely does not, barely hinder through there. Dave takes the lead over Lily's, but in terms of the mod race, Lily's in the lead completely. Can Dave make it over the jump? Dave has survived the jump. Can Lily's make it over the jump? Yes. Ratch coming in, done it. Here we go. Looks like Dave for the lead, but there is all this bullshit that he's got to get through. Lily's kind of winning today pretty quickly. Dave looking like he could win here. Could be Dave. Dave versus Lily's. Dave versus Lily's for the end. They're both stuck on the same pin. Both stuck on the same pin. There she goes. Oh my God, Lily's absolutely destroys. Unreal. Incredible to witness these scenes here today. Someone got fucking yeeted. Goblin got slapped way out. That's a ban. Ban Goblin Spore, please. Ban Toma Toasted. Wow, getting absolutely fucking destroyed. The other mods haven't even made it in to the final hit. Lux is dead. I don't even know what happened to Lux. Lux banned as well? What happened here? Incredible work from Lily's. Unreal. Naomi thrown to the wolves as well. Toodle trailing behind, as is often the case with Toodle. Oh! See you, Toodle. Loser. Incredible scenes. Some fire coming down here after this. Mary in dead last, but that is last in the actual race. I don't know how they determine who is absolutely dead last, because as we all know, and I didn't remind you because it stops people from joining in the race, the person who comes dead last in the leaderboard will be banned. That is what we've always done, and I never mention it until we get into it because people go, oh, I don't want to even risk being banned. Lily's the winner. Incredible work. Everyone absolutely shitting all over Lily's there, when in fact Lily's not only won the mod race but absolutely took the win for the entire thing. Lily's having to gift me some gift subs. At least one gift sub, Lily's. Thank you. And let's find out who came dead last. So it was Lily's first place, Dave second, Pearly third, Bear of Flame fourth, Safety Stab in fifth. Ratch was in 9th, Tom was in 16th, Shadow came 27th. Toodle with the DNF. I'm concerned here that Lux is getting banned. Annie with the DNF. Sean with the DNF. Oh, Lux barely avoiding a ban. Unreal. That would have been fucking something. Florence, see ya. Get him. Get rid of Florence right now. Everyone say goodbye to Florence. See ya. Florence with the ban. You can put in your ban request. Get the fuck out of my sight. Let's choose the outcome of the me got fucking banned there. That's probably gonna fuck him up. Lily's, choose the outcome. Who will beat the other? Lily's will win. Lots of lovely poo points being sent out. Incredible scenes here from... I don't know how to quit the game. Unbelievable. What a race. What a race, guys. Marbles on stream. How in the fuck do you quit this game? Terrible banning from... I literally cannot quit this game. I'm just going to hard crash the game. There's no exit. You can't exit that game. Lily's gifting 5 subs. We could be close to another wheel spin then. Could be another game of marbles on stream. Available. What are we at? 7. 3 more subs and we'll spin that wheel again. Shadow gifted a sub, even though he is a despicable and disgusting loser. A despicable and disgusting loser. Ravioli with the sub, we're on 9. Can Moonfish do it again? Noctis, what a fucking name. My fucking hero, Noctis, has arrived. Any chance of a marbles on stream day in the future? They're so drunk on the high of one game, you know. So fucking basic. Grow up, dude. Get a personality, Wolfman. That is embarrassing to react that way. Don't react that way. Do anything ever. Just play it cool, man. Fucking sit at the back of class and look cool. Jesus. Let's spin again. If X were D&D. So what do we want then? We want a scene from something. Name some scenes from movies. What are some famous scenes from movies? The Magic School Bus. Con Air. You guys are weird people. You know that? Kill Bill Oren Ishii fight. Now this is going to get me DMCA'd. So, if you enjoy the stream today, please, for the love of God. That's fucking 5 minutes long. No. What else have we got? Magic School Bus. The Magic School Bus. I'm gonna find like just one scene of the Magic School Bus, you know? Let's just watch an episode. Inside Ralphie. Already, maybe we should have picked any other scene. Nature check. Immediately a nature check to see if you can communicate with that bird. Happy birthday, Cyber Bob. Early birthday text. I accept it. I accept it. But you do also have to give me money on your birthday. You know that, right? You made a mistake. All right. So this is a sort of a computer's check, isn't it? There'll be whatever system you're using. There'll be some sort of a computer's check. It'll be an intellect-based check of some sort. A slicing check in Fantasy Flight. In Final Fantasy. So he's doing a computer check here. Let's see what he gets.
So I'll have an idea for broadcast date.
Oh, Constitution saving throw, please. Let's see how he rolls on this con save. A 1. He is what Orcish is doing right now because Orcish has COVID.
Why don't I have an idea for broadcast day?
So he's failed both his checks here by the looks of it. It seems like he failed his computer's check because he hasn't found a broadcast day. And he's clearly failed some sort of constitution check and has a disease. Oh, intimidation check from his mum. She's rolled very high on that. She rolled so well that he immediately just started typing. He didn't even respond. He just immediately started typing. She maybe crit on that intimidation check.
Ralphie! You're going to be late for school.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's having to make another
Ralphie,
con save.
What are you doing?
Our class is broadcasting 2 hours of live television today, and I said I'd have a show for them to do. And I don't. Yet.
Persuasion check to try and convince your mum that you're not full of shit. And also, you haven't done your homework. You haven't done your homework and your mum has walked into the room. Hey, what the fuck, Ratch? What the fuck is Ratch saying? Ratch just wrote, yo, Ralphie's mum in the chat. What the fuck? Did you just do a why is she kinda?
But I will.
Now she's doing a medicine check on him. She's touched the forehead there. She's conducting a medicine check. Let's see how she rolls.
What?
It's my opinion as your mother and as a doctor that you have a fever, which means you are sick, which means you are going back to bed.
Very high. She's rolled up pretty well. She's rolled maybe a 16 or a 17 here because she has absolutely immediately diagnosed him with some sort of fever, some sort of sickness. She's rolled well. Now, she didn't, if she'd rolled like a natural 20, she would have known exactly what fever he has, you know, like exactly what sickness he has. She would have been like, it's Ebola.
But Mom!
No buts about it, Ralphie. I'm sure
He's trying to make a persuasion check here because for some reason he wants to go to school, but he failed miserably again. He is rolling like Maya rolled during Cura and then blamed me about it. By the way, I just want you guys to know that Maya made all of these choices in Cura. Like, I'm going to make a monk. I'm going to make my character do this. I'm going to roll a natural 1. And then he just fucking bitches at me every week about all these choices that he made or things that were on the dice that were nothing to do with me DMing the show. Absolutely hated the entire show and experience and does nothing but criticize me negatively about it. And will never ever be returning to a show. Not just that I run, but on Table Story.
Can do broadcast day without you.
Yeah, she's proficient in medicine 100%. She's a doctor.
And we go on in an hour. Where is he?
I'll get it.
Now, I'll be honest with you. The fact that she just opened that door straight up is very un-D&D like. There shouldn't be any doors in the entire game, in the entire campaign, in which you are able to simply open it without it being a whole session. An entire session, even if the door is unlocked.
I'll get it.
She's got ADHD, very in line with players of D&D, because this is fucking insane. Hoarding.
I was wondering where you got
Animal handling check, please. See, or what is that? That's a familiar. So we're actually getting a good idea of what her class is. She's some sort of spellcaster that can cast Find Familiar. Probably a warlock, because that looks like an imp. And the warlocks get the expanded familiar choices, right, that they can pick from. And that is a fucking, that is a weird familiar to be able to, it might be a pseudo dragon, which is also a warlock familiar, right?
Dr. Tonelli.
Dr. Tonelli! That's Ralphie's mom!
Cupboard of holding.
Yes, I see. Yes, he's sick. Oh, poor
Trying to find the item they got 15 sessions ago, yeah. What in the neurodivergence is going on? Let's see if Annie can figure out what's going on, guys. Annie, what do you think is happening right now? Guys, remember, if you like D&D, tune in to Table Story tonight, because PB will be running D&D. I don't actually have any faith that she can, but if you want to see that disaster, then tune in to Don't Die tonight on Table Story. Rude. I'm just trying to motivate you, because I know that if I say, oh, I'm really looking forward to it and it's going to be really fun, you'll be like, oh, pressure. If I'm like, she can't do it, it'll activate your little brat mode and you'll be like, well, I'll show him. So, you're welcome. And Annie, what do you think is going on? Let's see what Annie thinks is happening here. Annie thinks cartoon 80s 90s Brad's run out of spoons, so we're doing a D&D commentary that will extend the video by 30 minutes. That's correct. It's exactly what we were doing, but we're now moving on to the next part of the show, which is what did Florence a delicious cookie. Sure. If that's what you'd like, you may. For the low price of 1 gift sub. Unban. Don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever do that again. Telling you off like a parent. All right, Florence is back, everyone. Guys, Florence is back. Round of applause for Florence. Legit a bit jealous of the cookies. You can have one. Come and get one. Fuck, man. They're kind of crumbly. Should we have a look at some TikToks? I think there's only a couple. Let's see what you guys decided would be funny to submit. First submission is from Toodle here. What the hell is Party City? Oh my god.
I literally just almost shit my fucking pants. Oh my!
The fuck, man. Next one is from Toodle. It says, if Carl Weezer was cast as Caesar in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Apes win war. Apes together strong. Caesar weak. Cobra weaker.
Australian. I was so confused by the fact that for some reason the ape was Aussie, you know? Which honestly would make them so much more scary. You imagine if like the fucking Planet of the Apes starts happening and they just fucking show up and they're like, fuck you, mate. I'm gonna fucking have you, son. Nah. No. That scene where he stands up and he goes and he speaks for the first time. No. This was from Ratch. It's 1991 and your mum rolls down all the windows to prevent secondhand smoke, but then proceeds to flick hot ash back into your face. Wow, that would have been nice. My dad used to put cigarettes out on my eyeballs. This next one's from Florence, recently returned. Simple words only. I said 50 words max. Don't tell me how to do it. Do it for me. I don't understand what that was about. It was something to do with ChatGPT, but I don't get it. I'm amazing at prompting AI, so I don't ever have any problem with AI. Simple words only. I said 50 words max. Don't tell me how to do it. Do it for me. Yeah, I wouldn't understand this. I'm too good at stuff. Sometimes I'm just too good at things that I can't understand others' failure. This one is from Harambe.
No, I won't pet you, kitty. You're evil, kitty.
Yeah, that's demonic.
To my sadness, it was good, kitty, and I missed the opportunity to pet on kitty.
Wait, what the fuck? Why would you ever send this to me, Harambe? Is that what I think it is, or am I just evil? Am I just broken? This one's from Kipling.
Aliens, ghosts, magic, and yourself. The most important one of all. Believe it.
It's kind of how I imagine Black Cap Chickadee to look, by the way. This is what you look like. Did you submit a picture during the time? Spot on. Okay, got it. This one's from Nuerg. It's 4 a.m. and instead of sleeping, I'm betting on if this girl can guess the amount of water cups from the sound alone. This is what happens. This is honestly what... It's just watching my stream instead of doing anything else with your lives.
314 und 395
And it's in German.
Milliliter.
Did she get it right? Hold on. 314 or 395?
314 und 395
Oh, fuck off. Did she get 314?
Milliliter.
If this wasn't German, I wouldn't believe it. But straight up, I actually believe Germans are capable of this level of efficiency with their ears alone. Why are you pouring 314 milliliters of water when you could have been you should have been pouring 395? How can you hear that, Gabe? I'm in England. I have a fresh wedding pic to stoke the fire of your despair. Well, it depends on how hot you and your other half are, doesn't it? Just sharing. Let's have a look. We'll see who's punching. And if you're both attractive, if one of you is attractive and the other one isn't, that might piss me off more. But if you're both attractive, I'm going to be really pissed off. If you're both heinously ugly, I'm probably still going to be pissed off because you're happy. And that annoys me. It really annoys me.
Cassie?
Ja.
416, 416.
Zweite Aufgabe für dich. Achtung.
Zweimal 416 Milliliter.
What is happening? I mean, there must be...
Deine dritte Aufgabe, Cassandra.
They're only picking from certain ones. But this is just an insane...
395.
This is it. How do you even know this is your thing? How do you find out this is your thing? You know what I mean? Like, you have a superpower, but how do you even know?
308 Milliliter.
Who did this? And she was like, wait a minute. How much water is actually in those 2 cups? And someone was just doing the washing up, you know? They were like, dung dung, oops, dung dung, oh, gee, dung dung. Shit. And she went, hang on. I can't access Discord because of an email problem. This is going to crash the stream. Trying to get my phone number. Is not married at all. Is not married. Is trying to get my phone number. I know what you're doing. You fucking, these broads. I left and can't rejoin because I forgot my old account. Well, make a new one or send it to me on Twitter. Or Blue Sky. Or what else do I use? So you can, what other things can you, I don't know. You figure it out. It's on you to figure it out.
Das stimmt. Cassandra, dein letzter Versuch, dein vierter.
270, 375.
270 und 375 Milliliter. 270.
That is insane. How do you find out you can do this? If this is real, which I don't believe anything I ever see is anymore, that is a fucking crazy ability to have, you know? Daredevil. She is Daredevil. Born again. Born again! Have I got any? Have I watched anything this week? No. Oh, but I did see this. I think Wax sent it to me. If Disco Elysium was a D&D game. What is this? Esoteric Ebb. On Steam. Probably won't stream it because none of you would watch me play this because I actually would definitely enjoy it. But I'm gonna fucking add it to my wish list. Coming soon, it says. This looks dope as shit, right? And this is similar to Disco Elysium in what way? It's a light-hearted, high fantasy spin on what Disco Elysium did. Don't think this game will get as deep as Disco Elysium ever did, but the demo showed heart and passion. I mean, yeah, it's obvious the way that they've presented it is very Disco Elysium-y. You're obviously walking around an area. There's people you can interact with. Maybe there'll be some writing in there, you know. So every indie game then. Okay. Oh God, people online, you know. Everyone is fucking horrible all the time. Everyone is so fucking horrible about it's just fucking, I mean, I'm in there, don't get me wrong, I know I'm one of them, but fuck me. Can she do it with the C though? Well, if you're so good at it, let's see how many millimeters of water are in the sea then, by listening to a river. You bitch. There is a demo, yes. I never play demos. They're worse than trailers for me. If I play the demo, I can't play the actual game because I've already done the first level and now I don't want to do the first level again. Does anyone else have that, or am I just a prick? But actually, I am like that, but you're also a prick. It's both. Beat you to it. I beat you to it. Stop typing it. I know some of you were typing it. I can do all those easy jokes as well. Those fucking low-hanging fruit. If you think I don't have the ability to do those, I have the ability. I choose not to. I'm above it. I'm better than you. Stop it. Ego. Just fucking out of control today. My ego's out of control today, guys. And I look like this. I have no reason for my ego to be out of control at all. The hat worked with the hoodie. But the hoodie's off. Let me see if I can find another outfit. What do you think, guys? Where's my music that I had in... Where's my music that I had for the runway? You remember the runway in non-canon? My music, my life, my heart, my soul, my music, my everything. I give my all. My wife, my lover, my... Where is it? Where's all of my music for that show gone? I still have it, I thought. This is not worth it, by the way. I'm literally just gonna put on a thing. My wife, my daughter, my love, my dream, my mother, my father, my brother, my team, my camp, my squad, my house, my car, my boat, my shoes, my pants, my shirt, my coat, my sugar, my cream, my butter, my toast, my all, my queen, my folks, my baby. Walk like 6 strings, talk like she's my everything. My baby loves me, hates me, leaves me, runs right back. That sexy lady. All I know, she shares all my confusion. So my baby will not run from anything. I swear this though. She's thick, she's bad, so clean, she's fine. She loves, she hates, she laughs, she cries, she hurts, she lies. She's Bonnie, I'm Clyde. She's ghetto, she's real. She sings, she rhymes, she comes, she goes, she lives, she dies. She's sexy and bomb. She blows my mind. She stays in line. She's smart, she's funny, she's crafty and cunning in the game. She's running her lips, her back, her waist, her thighs, her face, her skin, her hair, her eyes, her voice, her shape, her hips, her mind, her love, her smile, her touch, her time. I'm tipsy, I'm through, I'm drunk, I'm blunted. My way, my day, my life. I love it, I move, I groove, I shake, I love it. My friends, my kins, I like, I love it, I show, I prove, I live, I learn, I show, I teach, I run these streets. My kin, my heart, my heat, my rhythm, my rap, my beat, my life, my head, and my feet. I'm gonna throw up. Dude, do you, Liam, do you remember that song? Shit, dude. Fuck, man. It's because I didn't go for a little walk today. It's because I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian today. I am the Maple Canuck. What the fuck is this dog doing? What the hell are you licking, bro? Oh. Then a big backward stretch. You good, buddy? Hello. You can't see her face, but Cord, yeah, literally dressed like Cord. There he is. What do you want? Uh-oh.
Hey,
Uh-oh. Your throat okay?
Immediate anxiety attack.
Uh-oh. Someone's been traveling.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, for now. You got 3 days before you'll notice.
Well, I mean, you think?
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how having any sort of viral infection works. Take 3 days to incubate, and you'll know on Sunday or Monday.
Okay. Well, I mean, I left on Wednesday, though, right?
Yeah, you left on Wednesday, but you don't know when you contracted it. You might have contracted it right at the last minute.
I think if I get through Sunday, I'm calling myself cured.
I would leave it till
the
Monday.
disease
I was
have.
surprised. Mine took 4 days before I noticed it.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want?
I was just Dude, you're the worst, man. I was just calling. Do you remember when we had that like 3-hour conversation about Beverly Hills 90210?
The most vaguely.
Yeah.
You've been watching it again? Picked it back up, season 2.
The original 1990 drama.
Oh, this is where we're at.
This is
what I'm dressed
No,
like.
I just
Beverly Hills 90210. Is that what you're gearing up for?
I just don't understand your obsession with Steve Sanders.
I don't know what that means. Hold on, for fuck's sake. Steve
I
Sanders.
just, of all the boys to have a crush on in that show.
It's Liam. That's just Liam. You're looking at a picture of Liam. Yeah, this is literally how I'm dressed today. And how are you dressed? You dressed yourself today?
I have pants on.
Yeah.
I'm halfway dressed.
I would imagine that currently, if I had to guess, you're probably wearing one of your mother's frocks because you came in. You have all that extra clothing now that you know. What are you going to do with it? Might as well just wear it. Might as well just wear it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Inherited the frocks.
I haven't purchased. I'll tell you this: you guys should be flattered. The only clothing I've purchased in the past 10 years is from Table Story or PB merch. That's it.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with me. That's because PB had a fucking gun to the nape of your neck. I'm not.
It wasn't a gun.
No, what was it? Her enormous cock. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you more scared of, Cord or Ratch?
Oh, dude, I mean, the obvious answer is Ratch, but I'm not so sure about that anymore. Lately, Cord's been coming out swinging, right?
He has been, but did you not see me make him stand down and apologize?
That's true, you did.
I was like, you don't want to light this fire with me, and he was like, "You're right, I apologize," and then left. So, what do you think, Cord or Ratch?
They both went to a school that teaches witchcraft and wizardry, and their uncle was the headmaster. I think either of them could do a lot of damage.
You got to pick one.
Dude. I mean, I've got to be more scared of Ratch, which is crazy because I always hit on his wife.
Okay, are you more scared of Ratch or Kyorki?
Kyorki's terrifying. Are you kidding me?
Are you more scared of Kyorki or Mercs?
Kyorki.
Are you more scared of Kyorki or Lux?
Oh. That's a good question. Is she in here?
Yeah.
I think probably Lux.
Are you more scared of Lux or Tuesday?
Lux, dude. Tuesday is a kitten.
Are you more scared of Lux or Leah?
Leah. Dude, she's terrifying. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Are you more scared of Leah or Whack?
What? Why you're just playing around with this? We all know it's gonna end up. Pumpkinberry's the scariest person on the planet.
Well, we have to find someone who can actually go toe to toe. So
okay.
we gotta filter out the rest.
Shit.
Leah or Whack?
Okay, was it Whack or Leah? Still Leah.
Close your eyes. Imagine it's the middle of the night and you get sort of an unprompted message.
I feel like
from
Whack
Whack
would
or
hug
Leah.
me. I feel like Whack would give me a big hug, and I feel like Leah would jump on my back and start stabbing me with a 2-inch kitchen knife. But to her, it's like massive.
I've never seen Leah show affection to another human being. I've been to like places with her as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you know, oh, well, you don't know what she's like in real life. That one I do. I've never seen her like hug someone or, you know, so I think you might be right. Okay, so Leah or PB?
Ah, dude. Like, okay, so here's the thing. I think Leah on an average day is scarier, but if PB wanted to, she could destroy anyone.
PB at full power.
She could destroy literally anyone.
You know
on the
how me
planet.
and you toy around with One for All? She has the All for One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's that fucking faceless testicle man that's in that fucking show. Whoever the fuck that guy is. There you go, PB. You ever been referred to as a faceless testicle man? All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Caller number 1.
Yep.
And we'll play another round of Who is Orcish the most scared of next Wednesday when he is deeply in the throes of COVID. Vitamin D, baby. Get some vitamin D right now.
It's going to be my parents because I'm so sick that I can see them.
Well, because you'll be crossing over.
Yeah.
You'll be laying in bed like holding your hand up.
Mother?
Yeah.
Is Mother here?
What do you think?
Force me to be on your fucking Twitch
She'll be like,
channel
what are you
for
wearing?
money."
Why are you wearing my clothes? Just trying to save some money. All right. Well, good luck. You know.
Okay, and the thing is the thing came in the mail.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got it.
No, sorry. Your thing came in the mail.
Oh, it's downstairs. I need to go and pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you should pick it up.
Okay. I'll pick it up.
It's L-shaped.
That's fine.
I don't know what it is.
Well, that's because
It's an L-shaped box.
Well, yeah, that's how it's the only way I can
Besides my
access
forearm.
my own. It's the only way I can access my own colon. So it has to be L-shaped. Luckily, there is a company that provides. So bye. Thought he was gonna do me, didn't he? Thought he was gonna do me. Think I'm not here. I don't have a collection of delicious dildos in L shapes and varying. I have a weird letter fetish. Well, there you go. The truth comes out. Orcish is afraid of women. The H-shaped one is the best. That's true. That one, you know what? Moving on. If I don't acknowledge the fact that Kyorki keeps screaming that I am wearing cords, denim little fucking whatever this frock, then she's gonna have a fucking meltdown, even though, Kyoki, you're late and we already made that joke 5 times before you. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Brad watches Sesame Street in a whole different way. Hell yeah, I do, baby. And get one of those little... I'd fucking... God, it's so difficult to make good jokes on the internet. It's so difficult to make good jokes. But the Muppets themselves are like... They're over like 40 years old. You know? You can say that you want to fuck a big bird. Hey, there's another joke in there somewhere. There's a good joke in there somewhere. If you're from the UK, no one else in the world refers to. Are they not ageless like Bart Simpson? They spend all day with something shoved up their arse. Which means each and every single one of those fucking Sesame Street characters is basically orcish. Everyone wants to fuck a big bird. It's just that no one wants to even talk about it. Yeah, that's rude. I wouldn't talk. I don't fucking tell. Okay? At this point, I have absolutely no preference because I have sworn off of all birds. Where the dog has gone. The dog has gone. Boo, boo, boo in the chat. Boo, hiss, boo. I don't know where she is. I assume she has like a secondary. Is she under there? Is she actually underneath the thing? Oh my god, she is. I didn't realize. We can bring it back. She's actually there. I thought she had gone. This is the craziest thing about this dog is I never know where she is because she just finds things to hide under. I found her under random shit. I found her under a hoodie. There's a blanket in the bedroom on the floor that's like a second blanket that I put over the bed because she sleeps in that. And I put another blanket over her because it gets cold. And she was under there the other day. There's a blanket on the sofa that she gets under. She was buried under a cushion the other day. A mole dog. Is it birds and blokes? What's the male equivalent of bird? Yeah, probably bloke. It's pretty boomer. Pretty Gen X. Chat. Guys, don't forget Don't Die is tonight. For some reason, the ad that I have will not run. So that's good. Every time I want to run the ad, it just doesn't work. And I would re-download it, but I don't know where it's saved. So it's just... I tried copying the file, but something happened when I tried to run it earlier on, and it corrupted the file, and now it just doesn't work. It could be... In fact, the thing I was fucking around with something last night, and maybe I think I fucked up everything in that entire folder, and I have to redo the whole thing. I'm very glad there's not a non-canon or a non-effort tonight because I fucked up all of my OBS stuff. Literally, just perfect timing for PB to fucking take over running the Friday thing. I've been doing Fridays on Table Story for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Jesus. And it fucked up today. Well, last night. Just in time for PB to overtake. So worked out real well for me. Don't die tonight on Table Story. It is PB's first ever attempt at running D&D 5e, I think. I think she's said she's run D&D before. I don't believe her, but apparently she's full of shit usually. But first time running D&D 5e, and it is the first ever 2024 rule set D&D game on Table Story. She undercut me by a month. Because she's a fucking narcissist and everything has to be about her. Can't let anyone else have anything. She's like, oh, you're doing a unique and interesting thing. What if I do it before you? And what if I do it before you? And all of the unique selling points for your upcoming show have been immediately taken, and now you have to come up with some really new and interesting stuff pretty quickly to try and make your show in any way sellable to an audience. It was really all I had. Which is not PB's fault. It's entirely mine because I had an idea. She's under there, yeah. She is under there. Speaking of D&D, I was going to watch this video that is 33 minutes long, and I was just kind of curious. I just thought it might be fun. It's a Wired video with Brennan Lee Mulligan. Fuck. Hey. Why aren't you fluent in the only language you speak? Brennan Lee Mulligan answering D&D questions. And I was going to watch it like while I was just like milling around this morning. And then I was like, well, maybe this would be fun to watch. And it will get everyone frothing at the mouth for a bit of D&D, which we have tonight for you on Table Story. Now, why, if you're an editor, do not make the first frame of the fucking person you've asked to be on the thing. He's wearing the same outfit as me. Have his eyes closed. That's not fair. I mean, straight up, someone's under the table, you know? Brennan, you're supposed to be doing a professional thing, answering questions thing for Wired. Brennan! So let's watch this. Let's see what he's got to say. If you don't care about D&D, I don't care. But this is what we're going to do for 30 minutes, probably longer because I'll probably pause it. And also, this is the guy that GMs for Dimension 20. So I haven't actually ever watched Dimension 20, but I have watched this guy talk about a lot of D&D stuff. I've watched a lot of his... he has videos all over the internet that are just like... They're almost like podcasts where he's just talking to people about D&D. I watched all of that stuff. I think he's great. I really enjoy... I'm very jealous of him. I think he's one of the best DMs in the world. I've never actually really watched him DM, but I know without ever having to watch him DM from the way that he speaks about D&D or like, you know, TTRPGs that he runs, that I can tell that he's obviously good at it. But one of the things that's amazing about this guy that I like, before we get into it, let me glaze him a little bit. You know, he's not clearly not being glazed enough right now. He's like a philosophy major. Where's that clip? Dylan, can you find me the clip? There's a clip of him like every now and then he just like, I've seen like viral TikToks of him and stuff where he will just bang out some like philosophy in the middle of a game, and I'm so jealous of it. I wonder if I can just like Google it on YouTube. 1 second. Google it on YouTube. Brennan Lee Mulligan. Philosophy. Do you know it? 'Cause I knew you'd know it off the fucking top of your head. I can tell. Laws of threats. This is the best, dude.
Here's the thing. I don't know what you kids are up to, but I do know one thing. Laws are threats made by the dominant socioeconomic ethnic group in a given nation. It's just a promise of violence that's enacted, and police are basically an occupying army. You know what I mean? You guys want to make some bacon? He pulls a mask over his face, pulls a lit Molotov cocktail out of his mailbag, and whew,
That was on fire the whole time?
hold on, kiddo!
You're so brave!
He goes, boom, hits the lock, opens the jail cell. You see the fucking halflings with like black ski masks rappel in, just start opening fires, smashing.
Oh yeah, my mom works here.
They're in a school in this as well, right? This fucking show. So anyway, yeah, I saw that and was like, that's fucking cool. He just, I've seen it like a compilation of him just doing that. He just bangs out these like amazing things. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have my brain intact. If my brain was intact, I could be, oh God, I'd be so good at everything. I'd be good at anything, you know. All right, let's see what this video is then. I'm curious.
I'm Dungeon Master Brennan Lee
Hello,
Mulligan,
Brennan.
here to answer your questions from the internet.
Thank
This
you.
is
I did
Dungeons
submit
and
them all.
Dragons support.
I submitted all of the questions. They're all from me. Yeah, he's an improv master.
Okay, first question. Obama Prism VHS, the most iconic parentheses famous D&D monster. You gotta love a mimic. A monster disguised as a treasure chest. Now,
Is
I
this
love
a
these
D&D
monsters
original,
because
Mimic?
they only make sense in a world where so many people are going into haunted dungeons that entire strains of monsters can evolve just to eat adventurers. Think about how rare of a food source an adventurer
That's so
is on
true.
Earth. And think about the fact that
That is
there's
so
so
stupid,
many
isn't it?
monsters out here being like, if I disguise myself as a treasure chest, at least one person a week is gonna open me and I'm gonna eat them. I would say my favorite D&D monster has to go to the owl bear, Hoot Growl, the mascot of the Egg Fort Adventuring Academy, and our favorite monster over at Dimension 20. Why would you mix an owl and a bear together? Bears are more dangerous than owls. Just have a regular bear. But no, we made them half owl. Incredible. No notes. This next question comes to us from @SparrowBoy. Is there any secret? How do you come up with such great character design and personality-wise? I always feel empty-headed when having to create a D&D character. The things that
This is
not
me,
only
guys.
are
By the
fun-
way, I need a character for tonight. If you think I've made a character, I'm making this experience for PB as difficult as I possibly can. I haven't made a character, and I'm not going to until 1 minute after the call time. And then I'm going to join the call 15 minutes late with no character and just be like, and she's, you know. So let's see what he comes up with.
Right away, but stay fun and sustainable a long time, are creating characters that are wrestling with a heroic problem that I can keep coming back to. Perhaps their wizarding academy was burned down, or their parents were heroes that were betrayed. Perhaps a war is raging across these 5 kingdoms. Pick someone from one of those kingdoms with something to lose, not only on a physical level, but an emotional one as well. Pick characters who care about the world they are in, and you will find.
Players have to give a shit about the DM working for 6 months to build a setting that they couldn't give a fuck about? Never heard of that.
Yourself swept away by adventure very quickly indeed. That's my advice to you. This next question comes to us from @ILoveYourMom3. Provocative. Question, what's the greatest magic of all? Answer, friendship, right? The greatest magic of all is not friendship, it's chronomancy, the ability to control and warp time. If friendship were the greatest magic, look, it's a pet
Never
peeve
again,
of mine.
Orcish.
Greatest
Never
magic
again.
of all. Do you remember?
Is friendship.
What the is wrong with you? There's a lot of stories out there where the greatest magic of all is love
Fireball.
or friendship, and it's like, oh, because you loved so well, it created a magic spell that protected you. That is so cruel to everybody else in that fictional world who died. Do you get it? If your love can magically protect you, then what follows from that is anyone who died didn't love hard enough. It's f***ed up. Just think about it for 2 seconds, all right? You can't be doing that. The greatest magic of all is powerful magic, and you should use that magic to help the people you love. They're not the same thing. Greatest magic of all, chronomancy. Rogelio Val 123. So exactly, what are the stuff that you need to play Dungeons and
This is why I
Dragons?
wanted to watch this. You weren't sold until I clicked play, were you? I love this guy. I hate this guy. Very jealous of him, but I do love him.
Do you need to buy separate sets of stuff, or do you make it yourself? Rogelio, my friend, first thing you need is friends, and that's hard to come by. I got it.
Well, that's all of us out. See ya.
I tell you, the hustle needed to get 6 people to clear a Wednesday night is the stuff of legend. The rules of the game are contained in typically 3 books. We refer to them as like the core rule books. Sometimes
there you go, PB. PB. This is what you need, okay? It's called actually having a fucking rule set and a system in place when you run the fucking thing. And you actually have to fucking refer to them. Okay? Good luck tonight, bitch. God.
We'll have those.
Fuck her, dude. I don't even fucking... I'm not even going to show up. I'm not even going to show up. All right? You know what sucks is I've been running D&D since 2016, pretty exclusively, almost every week, and I don't know the rules. I don't know them at all. And then they introduced a whole new like bunch of twists and turns to the rules last year. And me, PB, and Whack all have to show up tonight with no idea how to play the basic TTRPG, Dungeons and Dragons. And I want you guys to tune in to Don't Die Tonight. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I know some of the stuff that she's got planned, but not all of it. And I am so ready. I'm so ready. What I'm actually unsure of is... Oh, this is nothing to do with your prep. But I haven't played as a character in a very long time. What was the last character I played? I ask this question once a week, I know. PB actually got a hard copy of at least one of the books. You did? Fucking money bags over here. Damn. Everyone unsubscribed from PB. She's got the money. She doesn't need it, clearly. If you could send me a little sub over, because I am really fucked. Or you got the new one? The new monster manual? Oh. You piece of shit. Alright, what's he saying?
Books available for you to come play.
I'm just
Sometimes
eating
they'll have
chocolate,
them
by the way. I'm
digitally,
eating way
like
too
on
much
service
sugar
like
today, which means I'm going to have a panic
pencil and
attack tomorrow.
papers to record your character sheet. This is what a typical character sheet looks like. You can get these online. And
2025 Monster Manual Alt cover. The Illithid? This fucking thing? Damn. What is this then? Is the DMG? Is the PHP? Holy shit. Damn. Yeah, those are insane. How much was that though? One thing we know is I can't afford it. Don't tempt me, Friday.
print them out for yourselves. Or you can store your character information on a digital character sheet as well. And some dice that generate random chance throughout the game. You want to attack a dragon? Well, we don't just decide that. Where's the fun in that? We roll dice to see if you strike true or not. So with dice, pencil, and paper, some rule books, and some pals, you could be playing Dungeons & Dragons.
Hear that, PB?
right away.
Good luck.
Now, you may have seen a lot of D&D tables in popular media.
Oh, I'm going to be
with
so
cool
fucking
little
intolerable. I'm going to take the power of Maya and the power of Orcish, being the worst players of all time, and I'm going to times it by 50, and I'm going to try and make that my character, and then I'm just going to Orcish, that's what my character would do you, every fucking 5 minutes. Actually, I built my character to be this intolerable and annoying, so you can't argue with it. Shield. I cast shield. I cast shield, then you'll die. Really? If I min-max, I'll die. I'm already not min-maxed. It's funny because me and Wack made our characters. Can I say this, PB? This is promotional material, so yes, I can. We made our characters, and then PB was like, please min-max. It's very important that you min-max for this. And we were like, but we're already nowhere near. This is already terrible. Both of our characters are not min-maxed. It's already bad. It's already bad. 70 Canadian US dollars. Okay. I don't know what that is in UK money. I didn't say that. You can do what you want, or it's so annoyed with me because I vaguely misquoted her. I'll show you the CR rating and turn on X and Y so you can min-max. And you and Wack went, I ain't min-maxing, bitch. And then proceeded to throw such a tantrum because PB said that he couldn't play, that he had to change his character's name. And he had a full-blown tantrum about it. And the best thing about the tantrum that he threw is that he can't talk about it. And I just love that. He's stuck. Unable to defend himself. There's no better position to have someone in than a position in which they can't defend themselves.
Figurines and miniatures like my friends right here. These miniatures are, listen, we can all agree, dope as hell, but they are optional. Miniatures and counters and tokens are there to physically represent battle and combat. But
I wonder if those
that
are
is
his.
technically an extra. You can, at your table, play in a style that is known as theater of the mind. I like to use the minis and the counters because there's a lot of abilities in D&D that are hard to keep track of. And having a battlefield set out, I think, is worthwhile so that if someone casts a fireball, with one quick glance of my eyes, I know exactly how many enemies just blew up. This dragon has been one of my most long-used miniatures. I think I was like 1 or 2 years old when I got this dragon. He used to have a little spout of fire, but I might have chewed that off when I was a kid. Regardless, this dragon's been with me for a long, long time and served faithfully and well. Good boy.
Posture check.
Next question. From Drink Your Haterade on Reddit, what is the best representation of D&D in pop culture? With Stranger Things boosting D&D nostalgia, I've been thinking a lot about pop culture representations of D&D. What show or movie do you think has done the best job and why? I think what Stranger Things did that really helped D&D
Final Fantasy.
A lot of cultural forces were conspiring to lift it up and actually showed it as being really fun, inherently social, inherently thrilling, a activity that brings people together.
Is that true, Dylan?
Baldur's Gate, people got to fall in love with Karlach and Astarion and these amazing characters and trying to smooch, which is a part that they don't write about a lot in the textbooks, but believe me, when you get to play in the game, people want to know if they can smooch. And at my table, as long as all parties involved have talked about it at session 0 and everyone has their thumbs up across the board, if we're gonna be out here slaying and smiting, why not add smooching into the mix? What's so wrong with a nice smooch? I tell you. There was also a D&D movie that came out recently that I think did a very good job. It had the tone and tenor. The worlds of Dungeons and Dragons are these arch, epic fantasy universes, but the experience that most people have playing at the table is that things get goofy. There will be
I feel like that
moments of
D&D
romance,
movie
there will
should
be
be a
moments of
TV
shock
show.
and danger and dismay. And so that movie did a good job of showing some
D&D
of
is
the
episodic.
lightheartedness that exists when you're actually playing through these D&D worlds together. At Buck Ducky. I'm DMing a game for a bit and I'm trying to learn how to make a female voice for an NPC, but I'm very bad with voices. I think that it's a mistake to try to like pitch up your voice for playing female characters. As a dungeon master, I have to play every different kind of person because I'm playing everybody in the world that my players are going through.
I just don't put
Someone told me
female
recently
characters
that
in
the
my games.
characters that I make sound like me, meaning when I voice the character, I just use my regular voice, are women and bad guys. That's something I should unpack with a professional. I don't know why that is, but that's who gets my real voice. I just use my regular voice when I'm playing women. Unless there's like a regional accent or they're older, you know, like if I'm playing the Baba Yagas.
Did someone say a little bit of pigs?
Ancient folkloric Russian witch.
Where's my pet?
You do the voice for the character. I don't think you need to do like a stereotypical woman voice. At JL Moonlight 92 asks, can you tell me how D&D alignments work? How do I know if someone's lawful good or any one of the others? Alignment is an element of tracking player character ideals. From earlier editions of the game, it was identified along two axes, your ethical and moral.
Does he like, I wonder if he likes this or not. And we're probably going to find out. But I'm curious about this because of his philosophy brain, whether he likes this or doesn't. I mean, he's already said your ethical and moral axes.
Axes, and it produced 9 alignments. Lawful good, paladins, heroic, neutral good, most aligned with
Every
the good
woman has
spirit
the
of
Valley
God.
Girl
Chaotic
accent when you
good,
play them. No, they
Robin
don't.
Hood.
Dumb characters have the Valley Girl accent when I play them. And also, then I also have, I normally typically have a woman from my hometown pub girl character who's like, oh my God, what are you doing? Have you spilled that drink everywhere? Because that is just purely an in-joke for me. Because it reminds me of all of the girls that I was brought up with in pubs. But the main villainous characters or women that I put into games, I just put them in positions of power. Then that way it feels like it balances the scale for me. If I just put because I'm like, it's just going to be weird if like all of these women characters are played by me and they're like, hello, how are you? And it's just like, yeah, I mean, they could sound like that, but they don't. But I can't do a good girl voice. I can pitch up my voice a little bit as well, which I think does help sell it sometimes. And I can use the Go XLR to do it slightly as well, which is what Orcish does because he's cheap and doesn't know how to fucking act. But what I do is, this is my trick, is that I just have more male characters in the world because I find it easier, to play male characters. Guess why? Because I'm one. You know, it's the whole thing of like these writers that can't write female characters in their books. I can't either. So I'm not going to really try. But what I will do is position them in places in the world of like positions of power. So I'll make the strongest fucking fighter in the town a girl. I'll make the god that all these people worship female. I'll make, you know, the queen who's in charge of everything and the king is just a bitch, you know. I'll do that. That's what I try and do anyway, to try and offset the fact that predominantly my games will be filled with more male NPCs. Or it's what I've done in the past. Now I think I'm a little different. I randomize it a bit more. This next campaign is going to be fucking nuts for that, by the way. So none of the rules apply to my next campaign. Of all the things that you've heard me say over the years, a lot of them are going out of the window.
Those that stand against tyranny and oppression and fight for freedom. You have lawful neutral, which is a sort of automaton.
Anyway, that's the way I think about it. Maybe I overthink about it. Maybe I don't think about it enough. Maybe it's offensive. I don't know. That's just the only way I've ever approached it. So if you want to reduce all of the endless fucking hundreds and hundreds of NPCs that I've made in the world to every woman has the Valley Girl accent when you play them, you can if you want. But I've actually put a lot of thought into it and I always think about it. So I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
Rules for their own sake, neither good nor evil. True neutral, no values at all. Kind of cool, cynics maybe. Chaotic neutral, pure chaos for its own sake. Utter rebellion, anarchy. Lawful evil, the alignment of devils and those who seek conquest, tyranny, and oppression. Neutral evil, pure cruelty and oblivion, chaotic evil, slaughter, rampage, ruin, sort of violence of the demonic realms. Those 9 alignments, people love them because, I don't know if you know this about human beings, they love personality charts. It's stuck around for a long time, even though it's not the most robust way to categorize moral philosophy, but goddamn, people love a chart.
Is moral
that
alignment
tells them
still
what
in the
kind of
new
person they are.
D&D?
From Camille Does
2024 rules?
D&D, the difference between paladins and warlocks is one's got an employer and the other's got a sugar daddy. But like, which one is which? If anyone's got a sugar daddy, it's clerics. You know it and I know it. When we talk about paladins in D&D, we talk about heroic holy knights that swear an oath to an ideal. When we talk about warlocks, we talk about people that have sworn
Paladins
a
have to
pact
train.
an otherworldly entity capable of granting them magic. I believe that technically warlocks have the sugar daddy reputation kind of locked down, but I would argue that clerics are in a very similar relationship. I think the difference between a warlock and a cleric is aesthetic. More than it is anything sort of more tangible. But that's getting into fantasy, cosmology, and theology, which we simply don't have the time.
It's a good question to go down a rabbit hole for.
Sizzletupcos.
We should talk about it on
Why are
non-canon,
wizards so
non-effort.
squishy? Why, you want hit points in addition to being able to bend reality with your mind? Wizards are so powerful. They're like the most powerful class in the game. If you can survive those low levels, you're gonna be dominating battlefields from here till the end game. A D6 is fine. I come from 3.5, where they had D4 hit points, and I think we should go back to that. I think they got it too easy as it is now. D6.
Just to bring it back to Don't Die, what class do you think I'm playing, chat? I'll give you a clue. It was almost a wizard, but it isn't a wizard. And I'm not going to tell you.
6 hit dice. They should be squishy. Stay on the back line.
I'm not going to tell you. You've got to chew in, don't die.
This next question
Tonight.
comes to us from Nui Ren. Among things I don't know, and I'm at this point kind of afraid to ask, don't be afraid. How many sets of dice do D&D players have, and why? Do you have separate sets for different characters or for different quests? Or just because they look cool? They look cool, my friend. Why not have as many as you can? I have an enormous pouch of dice. This is filled with dice. If I'm gonna throw an upcast cone of cold at my adventuring party, I need to have a ton of dice ready for that in the moment, ready to go. As you play the game longer, it actually is worthwhile to invest in more than one set. In your first set of dice, you will get 7 different dice typically. The first and greatest of them all is the D20. We say the letter D for dice, and then the number of sides on the die. So this is a D20 because it's a 20-sided die. Then we come down to the D12. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't get a lot of action. It's sort of for barbarian hit dice, great axes, and not too much else in common play. But we love the D12. Fun fact about the D12, it never stops rolling. These next 2 dice I'm gonna show together, D10 and another D10, but you'll notice that this one has 2 digits in every place. So you roll these together, and here in the tens digit, you produce a number. So that's an 8, and then in this other digit, you produce a 9. That's an 89. Coming down from the D.
He's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, we can use a percentile die in D&D? I'm changing everything. She just set fire to the fucking $70 book that she bought. The most powerful class in the game is named Orkmire, who does everything except the main objective and actively hurts those who try to do the main quest. I'd like everyone to print screen that message, because that message will be part of a conversation that we're going to have shortly. So keep a hold of that, pop that in your pocket. And remember, okay? You're going to play an artificer. I'll tell you a class I will never, ever fucking play. Who wants to know my least favorite class?
D10. You have the D8. This one sees a lot of play. You're talking long swords and battle axes. There's a lot of cool higher level spells that do D8 damage. That's a real fun one. And then there's one for folks that have been strapped in going, what the hell is this guy talking about? The D6. You know this guy, you love the D6. This is like the normal die. We use the normal die. We're talking about fireball damage, talking about wizard hit dice. I use the D6 for recharging breath weapons, which you always hate to see, but you have to do it. It scares your PCs. It's great, it's fun. You will have these somewhere in your house probably in a normal board game. Maybe you're playing with like a new board game night with friends, and someone goes like, pass me the D6. You're like,
it's off. It's off. Hey, I would love to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons. Wait. We get to do anything. We can cast spells. We can fly on brooms. We can fight dragons. There's goblins. That's cool. I'll play a fucking engineer. Ugh. God. Get it off me. Get away from me. Like, if you want to play it, fine. I ain't fucking no way in hell I will never play an artificer unless I'm like paid to or something. Or like some random, like, you know, we randomize the character or some shit. Never. Disgusting. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Brad, you played a geological surveyist engineer genius in Table Stories' critically acclaimed PB's magnum opus. She'll never reach anywhere near that level of quality ever again. Tune into Don't Die Tonight. Masterpiece, epic, gone. This might crash the PC. And I say to you this, that wasn't D&D. Well, it was for like one episode, but that wasn't normally mostly D&D.
You're a secret TTRPG player. Normal people don't call it a D6, they just call it dice. And then the D4.
Isn't that crazy, by the way? Because I thought that like not too long ago. It might have been like Christmas. I think someone got like a dice and I went, oh, a D6, and got a filthy look from my brother-in-law. He didn't know what the fuck I was saying because people just called it dice. That's what you call it up until you start playing TTRPGs. And then you start playing TTRPGs and then you enter into a world, an alternate reality where dice it means all different types of dice and dies. But it doesn't mean a D6 anymore. But everyone still calls a D6 just dice. Because that's the only thing in their brain, because every board game only uses D6s. And it is fucking weird. You slip into a weird parallel reality once you start playing D&D. It fucked me up, and clearly no one gives a fucking shit. Hey, Brad! No one gives a shit about what you're saying. I was like fucked up by it. I was like, oh god, that's so weird. I live in an alternate reality. Everyone says things different. It fucking weirded me out. But no one gives a shit. Those moments where you're like, this was like a huge revelation for me, and everyone's like, okay. All right. You know that feeling? When you're like, oh, this crazy fucking this thing, it was like insane to me. And everyone around you is just like, all right. That happens to me once a stream every day. It's the best job ever.
It always trips people up because it's got multiple numbers on each side because it lands with its point pointing up and you have to see which numeral is upright. The D4 is the bane of messy housekeepers everywhere because if you let dice fall on the floor and you're walking at night to get a glass of water, this bad boy's going right in your foot like a Lego. I have stepped on these so many times. And additionally, these are used for the smallest numbers possible. So like attacking with a dagger, like the damage of a small knife is a D4. Your D4 will always be the last dice on the table because they're hard to pick up. And so you're there looking foolish, grasping at your hands with these up-pointed dice.
Oh, I wish the camera had a microphone. I mean, it does. I don't know how to activate it, though. But the dog is making sleeping dog noises.
Frankly, annoying dice. I find the D4 annoying. I can say that. We have a long relationship. You're not going anywhere. Some of these dice are reliable, and their personalities are good, and the D4 is not on that list. Sorry to say. Question here from @memeslich. Should Dungeon Masters stop fudging dice rolls in Dungeons & Dragons? Fudging a die roll is something that a Dungeon Master can do with the aid of this handy little screen. It's called a Dungeon Master screen. You put that up at the table and all of a sudden, what am I up to back here? This screen enables you to do really fun stuff like this where you go, okay, the monster's gonna attack. Oh no. If you were to see that I rolled a 2 and still hit you, that might prompt you to be like, we need to run away from this battle right now. There's a lot of stuff that is reasonable to stay hidden behind a DM screen. A DM hides their stat blocks behind here. I usually make it this little homebrew index card with all the players' like game stats on it. But there is then a temptation for some DMs to fudge die rolls. Typically, this is done to spare the player characters from a terrible fate. You're attacking your PC, it's the last one standing, and they've got 10 hit points left, and you roll that monster attack roll. Oh, it's a nat 20, they're about to do double damage, this is about to be the end of the campaign. Maybe they didn't roll a nat 20, maybe you could say that they rolled something else. That temptation is there for DMs that suddenly get a soft heart for their PCs. @RideTheDirt.
I am disgusted by people that fudge dice rolls consistently or a lot. I've only ever done it when I'm like, this combat is boring and I think it should just be over now. And I'm like, da 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 da, you win. Let's do something else now because I think everyone's falling asleep and it wasn't anywhere near as exciting as I was thinking it might be. I don't know. Let's just do something else. I also have done it. I mean, I'm sure I've done it here and there, just been like, I think that producer Brad might have to just step in here. I've done it to end a session, which is the same thing, where I'm just like, I think this combat is done and I'm not putting everyone through another half an hour of this. But the thing with D&D, and this isn't the case with a lot of TTRPGs, but it is with D&D, is that it's fucking hard to kill them. You can try. Have you ever saved someone from dying? I don't know. I don't think so. Not with fudged die rolls. If I really think someone is going to die, I start saying stuff that makes them start taking it seriously. You'll probably, if you go back, you'll probably be able to watch me. I mean, you've seen me GM combat 100,000 times, and I'm terrible at it, and I apologize now for how bad I am at running combat. I'm so sorry because it isn't good. But the what I do is we're laughing at the beginning, and I'm like, haha, 3 goblins are attacking you, and then I start going, ha 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 ha, and then I'm like, okay, so. Actually, this goblin is, this one's behind you, and he's gonna try and hit you with this sword, and that is a natural 20. So that is gonna do a lot of damage. But can I get someone? Can you roll me a perception check? Yeah, behind that goblin, you notice that the ground starts cracking open. Yeah, you know, I start doing stuff like that, where I start giving them, it's not really fudging dice rolls, but it is like, I need to tell them that 3 goblins isn't the fight, and they're struggling against these 3 goblins, and there's a purple worm about to burst through the floor. It's about to open up the ground is about to crumble inwards. They need to make me some fucking dexterity saving throws. And then they're going to be falling into a cavern underground and fighting a purple worm. And they're struggling against these 3 goblins because they're fucking around. And I start getting serious and I'm like, you, really, guys, you notice something else. The tone of my voice has changed. You're all laughing and making dildo jokes still, okay? But the danger dildo's coming. Purple worm. So I will do stuff like that if I really don't want them to die. But I have found, and I've tried to kill players in a couple of campaigns, and they just, I just can't. I genuinely try sometimes, and I can't, and I'm like, fucking get it! I'm there like, and he fucking picks up half of the mountain, and he fucking launches it at you. Make me a fucking dexterity saving throw. And I'm like, even if they fucking make this save, it's still going to do all this damage. And they're like, I do a triple backflip out of the way and I cast Defend Mountain. I have a special species trait, which is Defend Mountain. If somebody throws a mountain at you, you take reduced damage down to 0. And I'm like, you fucking what? Can do what? And then the fucking cleric's like, I cast heal on absolutely everyone. And everyone's at full HP. They also have a fucking +2 to their AC. And you're like, okay. I couldn't kill him if I wanted to. So I just am no longer bothered. I think the only time I'm afraid of killing them is the first 3 levels. And the first 3 levels, especially level 1 and 2, I tend to give players a little, they have like a secret shield, a secret plot armor. Because I just think it is so easy to kill a level 1 player on like a natural 1, or they slip on a banana peel and just fucking, you know, if a player character at level 1 slips and grazes their shin, they're dead. You know, you could do it to a barbarian and they're dead. And it's just like, I don't want to kill your character at level 1, even though it would make for a good story and it would make for all of this like good setup and stuff. It's just usually a lot of effort for something like a show, where we've had commissioned artwork and we paid all this money for this artwork and then we killed them in 30 minutes of the first episode, which is it's an annoying like thing where you're like, well, that's stupid and shit, but it's like, it just is what it is, man. There's another element to this. But I have often tried to kill players in our offline game, Oracle's Rest, a lot. I killed a lot of them in the first sort of block of games that we played. That sort of has seasons, Oracle's Rest. We have these offline seasons where every now and then I'll just run them through the game for a bit. And in the first round of those sessions that we did, and we were quite a few sessions in, a lot of them were annihilated by a black dragon. They didn't quite take it as seriously as maybe they should have done. They were taking it quite seriously, but I think that they made a few silly mistakes. They did the thing where you line up in front of a dragon that has a breath weapon that's a line, you know, or whatever it has. They did that thing and they just got melted by acid breath or whatever it had. Poison or whatever, I can't remember. And I killed a lot of them in that. But since then, they have all made clerics. There's like 4 clerics, a druid, something else that can heal, and there's so many of them. It is so very difficult to kill them. I genuinely try and kill them in that. When I'm not a fan as well of like killing. I think I'm gonna, and again, I would like to preface that none of this applies to my next campaign. I want you to remember that everything that I've ever done up until this point, a lot of this that I'm saying now, this is how I feel, but I'm purposefully doing a lot of stuff that I don't do for my next campaign. So this actually does not apply to the next campaign. I'm honestly going to try and kill them episode 1 if I can. But the yeah, I've really tried to kill them in that, and I just can't. It's very, very hard to kill players, especially once they get past a certain point. I'd say like level 4, 5, you start to really struggle if they have a couple of clerics in the party or a couple of healers. Depending on their team comp, it gets really hard to do. So it does mean that you're just very free to do what you want. The other thing, there's other ways that you can do it as well. And I think this comes down to being a bit of a bastard DM. I'm not a fan of fudging rolls ever. If the closest thing I've ever had to a religion in my life is the dice. When I was younger, I read a book by Luke Reinhardt called The Dice Man. And then a couple of follow-up books about that as well. And in that book, he has a D6 and he puts he just starts living his life by the rule of that dice. So he puts options on that dice and does whatever the dice says. So he put an option on there like go to work, don't go to work, and he'll roll the dice. It will land on don't go to work, and he's like, okay, I'll call in, and he just doesn't go to work that day. And then he puts options in there like, you know, go on a date with this person, don't go on a date with this person, and he stops being a person who has that kind of autonomy and just becomes a sort of just a bit like that movie Yes Man or whatever. he lives by the rule of that dice. For me, it actually helped me a lot with my indecision making. When I was younger, I was actually very indecisive as a kid. I was, you know, I know it better now as an adult with hindsight, but I was quite anxious and nervous, and I was sort of hiding who I was, and I didn't know. I had to question a lot of things, and I'd overthink a lot of stuff, and it took a lot of that pressure off of me. And I still do it to this day. I think we all do. You know, it's a flip of a coin type option, but you will. It's just very nice when you're a very indecisive person to take the pressure off of yourself, and now you put it on like a dice. So if you aren't sure about something that you want to do, or you're very indecisive as a person, you roll this dice and it says you have to go to work. You have to go to that thing you don't want to do. You don't have to do the thing you don't want to do. You have to eat this. You don't have to eat that. You have to talk to that person. You don't have to talk to that person. Well, now it is the dice's fault. If it's something that you don't want to do, if it's something that you do want to do, you know, it takes the pressure off of you having to make that choice, and it puts it on this random fucking object. Even though you put the options on there, it alleviates a lot of that pressure. It was amazing for me in my late teens and early 20s, which was, to be fair, a time in my life which was pretty chaotic, and I was doing some crazy shit. But I actually did pretty much exclusively live by the choices on a dice for a long time. I made a lot of choices that were very simple ones. I didn't really put any mad ones on there, like quit my job and move to Guam. You know, it was like, you know, it wasn't like I was there like go to work today or become a Somali pirate. But I was making a lot of smaller decisions on it, and I found it very useful. So for me, fudging dice is almost like heretical. It's as close to a religion as I've ever found in my life. And I would never go against the dice. If I think I might... The thing that I said the other day, and this isn't my thing, I read it somewhere or saw it on TikTok or something, which was like, if you're not sure about something, flip a coin. And while it's in the air, you'll know which side you want it to land on deep down. And that will give you the answer that you seek, which is another great way of doing it. But for me, I will go, I don't know if I want to do this and I don't know if I want to do that. I'll go, I'll put it to a dice roll. And in that moment, I already know. I go, I don't want to run the risk that it lands on, you know, a 3. Because I will do it no matter what. No matter, I have never gone against a dice decision. Ever. If you came to me and said, put the choice on a dice to, like, you know, kill a dog, strangle that dog to death, and, you know, and on the other side is like, eat some Haribo, and I rolled that dice and it landed on strangle that dog to death, I would fucking do it. I would do it. That's how much I swear by Luke Reinhardt's rules. The key is I would never put the option on there, right? Which is the point I'm making with the you know, insane options. So I don't put anything on it that I know that I wouldn't want to do. I have put extreme options on there before and then rolled it and been like, whoa. But nothing like, you know, crazy like that. So for me, I would never, I don't know, it is just one of those things. It's a thing that I wired into myself, and it's a thing that I'm respectful of outside of the game. Because as stupid as that book is, and as dumb and crazy as the options are to, like, you know, some people would be listening to what I'm saying now and be like, that's just fucking insane. Just make a choice, grow up, you know what I mean? When I was younger, And as a young man, and in the life that I've lived, and the way that I was, and the way that I felt mentally, that actually was genuinely one of the most psychologically helpful things for me. I would get very crippled by choice making. I don't know if anyone has the same thing. Like decision making was very difficult for me. I'm very good at it now. I'm actually amazing at like snap decision making now. I very rarely need to worry about something like a dice or whatever. But I was very like nervous about it, and it would give me a lot of anxiety, and it would freak me out. And so it unlocked, or I guess it made me feel a lot better, or it improved my ability in decision making. So I actually genuinely respect the dice because of that book. So then I started running D&D years later. Bear in mind, I wasn't playing D&D when I was a kid. Years and years later on, I discovered D&D. And so I've always sworn by the dice rolls and things like that. I'm sure, I mean, I would say there's probably been times when I've rolled dice and just been like, you know, like, okay, I'm just going to say that did like 8 damage instead of 7, just so that this thing can be dead so we can move on. I'm pretty sure I've done that a few times, just to, you know, just to move things along. But fully, like people that fudge the dice constantly are insane to me. What's the point in having the dice? Just don't even do it. Come up with a different rule set, play a different game. I've spoken to DMs that don't even calculate HP and stuff. I remember speaking to a DM once that said that he just decides when the fight is over in his head. The fight just goes on. He says that you do this much damage. He says that hits, you do 8 damage. That hits, you do this damage. But then he just goes, I think this thing's probably dead now. So he just chooses in his head when the fight is over. And I was like, that is nuts to me. Nuts. That's pure heresy. Pure, just it goes against everything I stand for. You know, that's just the way people are, though. People are free to do whatever they want. They can run games however they want. If that's how they enjoy doing it, that's good. But to me, personally, I would never, ever do it. So I never fudge rolls, really. I think I'm safe in saying that obviously here and there, I've moved the goalposts a little bit. But yeah, I'm a big fan of like what happens. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of, you know, even if it leads to a character death or a TPK or something, then that's how it went. I'm not a big fan of, and then this is the thing, that's my like core values, but as a producer of a professional tabletop channel with shows, there are some decisions that come in that I would say will sometimes, it's very rare. You might think I do this every week, but I will very rarely just be like, I think this combat is over. It's not really a fudge of the rolls. I just go, yeah, you win, you know. Like I just fucking go, yeah, you guys are done. Or I will maybe start hinting that they're in more danger than they realize. And I'm kind of okay with that, because in my head there's a loss of natural information. If you were actually fighting a fucking owlbear in real life with 4 companions, and you had your sword out and someone was firing arrows in, someone's launching firebolts, and you were actually physically there watching it and you were your character for real, you would have a much better idea of how your instinct on how the fight is going. That I think sometimes gets lost when it's just, you know, on Roll20 and you're just playing on fucking Zoom, and so if I go, guys, you know, if I'm like, you know, this thing is, you know, this thing looks more dangerous, or, you know, I'll say something, it won't ever be as on the nose as this, but I'll be like, you know, this is not going as well as you think. This is actually starting to become a bit of a problem. This person looks more injured than they should be. This thing is not backing down. You have done damage to it, but it is not struggling. It doesn't appear to be as injured as I think you think it is, you know? And in my head, I'm okay with that information. It's not specific, because I think if you want to find specific information out, you need to make a check for that. But I think if you were actually there, boots on the ground, you'd actually be aware of the fact that this owlbear is just tearing through you. But you might not be aware of it at the table because it's just a token and you can't see its HP bar. But I can. and I also know this next thing is coming, and I'm the DM, and I know this other stuff is coming up. And a lot of the time, I don't care. If in the example of the purple worm, you think you're fighting 3 goblins, but actually the combat is about to ramp up because there's a second phase where this purple worm is about to break through the ground, and you have to fight a much more difficult foe. I'm less bothered about that because that you need some sort of divination or foresight for. If you're about to lose, if you're a fucking level 6 party, we're on episode 34. We're gearing up for the final arc. Everyone's invested. People have been watching it as a show and are invested in the story arcs, the characters and stuff. And by pure fluke, pure chance, you are about to TPK this fucking entire party, this entire show, and end the show on a fight against 3 goblins that somehow just all rolled natural 20s, and all your party has done is rolled natural 1s. I'm probably not going to just let you die. I, at that point, will start getting creative. It's not fudging rolls, but I'll probably just have it be that when you are all KO'd, you aren't dead. And then the next week you wake up and you're in a goblin cave and you've got to escape. And you're injured and you've lost all of your stuff. Because I just don't think I could happily end a full-blown campaign on the chance of 3 goblins. However, if it weren't a show, I think I would happily do it. There's an element to it where I'm responsible for a show and people that are viewers and having a good paced story arc and stuff, where if this was Oracle's Rest and the fucking 18 players lose to 3 goblins, I'd have those 3 goblins slit every one of their throats one by one and end it. And you might be thinking in your head like, oh, but that would make such an epic ending and it would be like crazy and everyone would be talking about that show forever. And it's true, but when you've run these shows as long as I have, we all get complaints about the way that we end these shows sometimes. You can be fucking so happy with these shows. The way I ended Dying Order had an element of ambiguity to it, and I got fucking people being like, this was fucking bullshit, fuck you, you know? And it's like, if that's how you felt about something that I was really happy about the ending with, fuck, man, if I kill these fucking players and it just fucking ends to goblins, God. So I'm generally just like, I can't help it. You feel it out in the moment, but that's the only time I think on the shows that I start to, maybe step in with some stuff that goes against my natural instinct to want to go with whatever is happening and be completely neutral and be like, guys, you roll bad and the goblins roll well. You're all about to die to 3 fucking goblins. It's just how it's worked out. This is what the end looks like for you all. It's unbelievable. You've just come off of a fight from a fucking red dragon and had a long rest, and you just took down an ancient red dragon, and you're about to die to 3 fucking goblins. The part of me that is true to just telling and staying as neutral as possible, the best story I can, wants to do that. But there's 2 other parts of me. There's the part of me that's a producer of a TV show, basically, that is like episodal and has these arcs and has pacing, and we want to have a fully wrapped show. I know all of you are like, well, Mr. Light, it's not my fault, shut up. And there's another part of me that I think in those moments I will do my own insight check around the table. I will go, how do they all feel? I look at all of their faces, I feel how they are speaking, and I go, if I kill them with these goblins, these people will never talk to me again. They will not want to, but they will begrudge me for it. They will genuinely hate me on a personal level, and is it worth ruining my relationship with these people? And you might be thinking to yourself, no one would ever do that. I have killed characters on stream before and then had players just not speak to me for like 24 hours before they had to calm down and come back and be like, okay, it's all good. I was like just attached to that character, blah, blah, and it is fucking rough, man. That is one of the hardest things to do, is to just walk into someone's room and be like, I'm sorry, little one. and then just smash their toys, kick their fucking sandcastle over that they love. And it's just a really weird, it's like Bleed. It's like RP Bleed. It's very difficult to navigate. It's very difficult for me as well. I know you might think like I'm evil and I'm in here roasting everyone all the time, but I'm actually very sensitive to that kind of thing. I think it's why I'm the good guy GM and Whack is like the GM of Doom, and why I'm like, you know, so much more easygoing as a DM, because I'm actually very sensitive to that. I actually hate it when people who I care about dislike me. If you're a stranger and you dislike me, I do not give a fuck. If you're someone that I care about on any level, in any small way, if your opinion of me, if you're someone who I have an opinion of that is positive and you have an opinion of me that is negative, I will be aware of it and it will upset me. So it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do, to just fucking kill a player character when you have that in your heart. So I do sometimes get affected by that as well, where I look around the table, or I look around, you know, I'm not looking around a table, but I'm looking at my players, I'm hearing what they're saying, and I'm hearing the tone of voice. I'm noticing they're all slowing down, they're all starting to feel a bit, they're starting to get annoyed with me. You'll see players, they'll be like, yeah, but the thing is, I didn't actually do that. 3 turns ago, I said that I was, and you'll be like, well, yeah, but 3 turns ago was fucking 3 turns ago, and I always had this rule that whatever happens, happens, and we moved on from it. You didn't remind me of it. I didn't remind you of this. We forgot about the poison. We forgot about that thing. It is what it is. We've moved on. And you need to make me a fucking death save. And, you know, and they start doing that. And I'm like, oh, they start getting angry with you. It's not in character. It's them, your friend, a person you care about, a peer or someone is getting angry with you. And you have to just go, I'm okay with this and carry on with my life, you know? When in fact, you're like trying not to have a reaction. They're having a reaction. It's real. There's bleed. There's, you know. It sucks. It sucks. And so you can look back on it. You can look back on it months later. You can think, we can all sit here and like workshop and plan and think and come up with these theory craft these different scenarios, and you might be like, oh, but it would be so cool, it would be so epic, but you forget sometimes what it's like in the fucking moment when you're slaughtering your friends' characters. And you're just like, I'm a Tarask right now. You know, I'm a Tarask. I don't care about any of these. You're just trying to be a DM. You're like, I bite your head off. I bite your character's fucking legs off. I'm a Tarask. I've trodden on your fucking character's legs. You now do not have a dex score. You know, like that's what's happening. But then there's the next layer where your friend who you love and loves you hates you now. And it might only be for an hour, but you got to sit in it and everyone's watching you. And there's an audience. There's just everyone out there watching on their TVs, and it's their favorite episode. Everyone's the most engaged you've ever seen anyone engaged on one of your shows. They're loving it. But for you, you're like borderline having a panic attack because your friend is about to cry and it's your fault. It's fucking crazy. So yeah, sometimes I go, yeah, you guys maybe fucking knuckle down. Sometimes I'm like, maybe just burst this thing down with some fucking fireballs. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, the combat's over. Sometimes I'm like, actually, you don't all die. You all wake up. You were knocked out by a poison dart, you know? And then Maya goes, actually, I actually have saving throws against being poisoned. And I go, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now. You were knocked out by a poison dart. It was some sort of fucking... I did time that on purpose, by the way, and it was cool, right? It was some sort of fucking cinematic transition between scenes. Shut the fuck up. Because if I go with the rules right now, all of you are fucking dead. My God. By the way, that happens quite a lot. That happens quite a lot where I'm like, you know what? I think you guys are going to die if I don't just fucking move on. And they're like, actually... I'm an elf, so I have saving throws. Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's just that I think probably shut the fuck up. Whereas if we play by the exact rules, it bit your legs off, it fucking crushed you, and then you TPK'd because there was only 2 of you versus the Terrace. It's just fucking, what is it? What do you want? You were all about to get pissed off with me. DMing is hard. DMing is hard. But yeah, I very rarely fudge actual roles. And I think a lot of DMs do, by the way. I think this is why I've stuck on this point for quite a while. A lot of DMs really do fudge a lot of roles all of the time. And I'm like, that's mind-blowing to me. Like, what's the point? Why are you even playing? Why even have the dice? You know? Play one of the systems that doesn't rely as heavily on a dice roll. Like the, what's the fucking system that we use for the heroes one, and like Witchcraft and Wizardry was based off of? That one, where you just sort of have like vagaries, you know, that don't matter as much about the specifics of dice. You can use like the fate system and stuff, you know, where obviously there are dice rolls, but it doesn't matter. You know, like why even, what's the point? Like, is my thing. I have heard good arguments for fudging dice rolls before though. I just can't remember what they are. Every now and then someone will be like, oh, what is? Yeah, like Powered by the Apocalypse, where it's very much just like, yeah, you do some dice rolls, but it's like, it's less specific what the outcome is, you know? In D&D, if you take 8 damage, but you have 7 HP, you're reduced to fucking KO. So, you know, whereas in these other things, you can just be like, yeah, you're invincible, was punched through a fucking brick wall and is knocked out. But he isn't dead. He's not on saving throws. There aren't like death saves. You just, this was the end of the turn. Which obviously you can do with D&D as well, but I think because there are more mechanical rules, people feel inclined to fucking stick to them, which is why you get Orcish barking at you from the fucking corner of the fucking room.
Actually, technically, I should be on 2 saving throws.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then technically, all of you fucking died in session 1 when I saved you all. So shut the fuck up. Trust the fucking DM for once. Or we end the campaign today. Yeah. I give him shit, but a lot of the time I'm also wrong with the rules, and it's like, you know, the other thing will happen where they are saved by a rule that I read wrong. You know, they're like, oh, Brad, you can't count. And I go, what? They go, yeah, it was only 13 points of damage. Oh, you wrote 33. Oh my God, I can't count. Thank God. You only take 13 points of damage. You still up? Yes. Okay, fucking Jesus Christ. And in the back of your head, you're like, great feeling. Rocker Paul, thank you for the 66 months. He says 666. The number of the beast. Yeah, I think everyone's ended campaigns that way though. I ended my first ever campaign was a TPK. I gave them every chance in the world as well. I didn't just like drop a mountain on them. I was like, you have to escape the mountain. There is a cave in happening, and they just failed so many checks that I was like, fuck. Yeah, you take the amount of damage that an actual mountain falling on you is. It's massive damage. You're all squashed. And it is what it is, man. Yeah, I'm not really afraid of killing player characters either, but I am afraid of killing them either unjustly, because I've done this before where I slightly miscalculated some stuff during the combat, or didn't take into account, you know, a mechanic of some sort, which is why I'm a little more like specific about the mechanics in combat, because I don't like the weeks of people messaging me, or the years of YouTube comments of people being like, actually, he had an extra 5 feet of movement that he used, and you said that it was going to do 35 feet radius fire damage, which means he would actually have been out of the range based on the calculations on the screen, and you killed him for nothing. And I'm like, oh, great. Then now I just have to feel guilty about it. And there's nothing I can do about it, because it's just done. It's done. He's fucking dead. We made a new character. It's been 3 weeks. It's fucking awful. It's a horrible place to be. And I hate that. So I'm like always really like, you know, are we sure that this is, which is why you'll notice that usually a lot of the time in my campaigns, when they do things start looking ropey for characters, I do actually take my time and I'm like, are you sure this is what you can move? Is this actually what this does? I will double check my calculations and stuff. I will double check what it says on my monster thing. A lot of the time I just read it and it's like, yeah, monster jumps. And I'm like, okay, monster can jump, and I just make it jump. And sometimes I'm like, monster can jump specifically 15 feet vertical. And it can only do 10 feet in a horizontal line. Okay, so it actually can't do 15 feet. And that's when I start getting like specific, because I'm like, this thing can kill them at this point, and it will be a thing that will come back at the end when Maya is sat there going,
You motherfucker! You fucking didn't even read it. It can't even jump 15 feet.
because he's read the fucking monster after the episode. And it's a bad place to be, because you have, you know, unjustly killed that character, and it's too late. That's rough. So I'm not afraid of killing characters. I just want it to not be because of some sort of like misreading of a mechanical rule on my part, which is very common because I play very fast and loose with the rules, much to a lot of people's chagrin. And I also just think sometimes it's not worth killing a character in a fucking shit way. It just isn't. No one wants their character to die in a shit way. No one wants, some people would be okay with it. I would. But most people don't play the game like me. I'd be fine with a goblin slitting my neck at level 16. I die to one level fucking CR half goblin or whatever they are. But most people wouldn't like that. And also, I think it's just really boring. Imagine you're watching a TV show, you're 3 seasons deep, and your fucking main character, who's like unbelievably cool, just dies to something shit. Just falls over. Just rolls an ankle. And dies. You'd be like, what the fuck? Everyone would be in an uproar. And it's just not worth it. And I think in those situations, the best thing you can do is either get creative and just be like, well, instead of them all dying, I'm just going to say... and this can be hard to do because they get reduced to 0 hit points, and you just have to be like, you're not dead, you're not dead. And you take a lot of the tension out of the scene by being like, you're not dead, which is why you might... I've done this before where I will message the player and just be like, you're not dead. Because they will be freaking out and panicking. And I'm like, look, breathe. You're actually not dead. I'll reveal why in a minute. Just sit back, shut up. And then you reveal that, in fact, the final hit from each of those goblins, there was a poison on their blades that put you all to sleep, and you've all been carried into a little cell. And we sort of did it in Cura, actually. There was an element to Cura where they thought they were all dead, and they kind of were. And I was like, actually, there is a sort of an alternate creative option that is happening here. That if you feel like you want to punish them for dying, I think you're justified as a GM. You could nerf something about them. You could give them some sort of grievous wound that maybe affects them mechanically in some way, reduces a stat, or, every time they lose an eye, so maybe when they make perception checks, they make them a disadvantage, something like that. You could do stuff like that if you wanted to, which I think is a creative and fun way to say, yeah, you almost died. So now take this, don't get pissed off with it, because it's better than being dead. But run with it. Take this, use it in the RP. Create something interesting out of the fact that you now fucking are missing an eye, or you fucking lost a hand or something. Or, you just reveal that actually, it was a fucking, you've all been captured by the goblins, instead of being really sort of unceremoniously killed by them. I think that's the better way to approach it, because it's really... It can be really... It will ruin the entire campaign sometimes, and for me, I'm a much bigger fan of coming up with some sort of creative alternative, instead of just killing them all. Depending on the campaign, some campaigns I think it doesn't matter, and some players it doesn't matter, but for me, most of the time in these campaigns, And the annoying thing is they either usually they come into very dangerous places right at the beginning, like levels 1 to 3. They're very squishy, so they might just die to a random wolf, or near the end of the campaign, but not near enough the end, so that you would just be robbed of basically the final boss fight. And you're just fighting high-level stuff that you as a DM are less experienced with, which is where I find I am a lot of the time. And they're like fighting. I'm like, yeah, you can fight 3 banshees, and then the banshees just start annihilating them, and you're like, oh, fuck. And you're like, I can't kill them now. They're outside the fucking, they're outside Strahd's castle. And you don't get to fight Strahd because I killed you just outside the castle to a random encounter. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of doing that. So you have to get creative. I don't know if any of this makes sense. There are definitely ways that you could do it, but I'm just sort of talking about how I approach this stuff personally. I would like to be more deadly, and I think some of the problem is me as well. Like I said before, like I do get afraid to kill certain player characters when I know that there might be a bit of a negative response from the player, or it might influence the arc of the campaign, and suddenly I'm no longer GMing and I'm no longer a Tarask. I'm just a fucking producer with a headset and a clipboard going, cut. Yeah, I think we need to cut there. I don't think we should do that. We should we should rewrite that. And you're like, but unfortunately that's the slightly professional side of running it as a show. Yeah. Again, I'm really going to be trying to do away with everything I just said in my next campaign. I would like to kill them pretty early on. Now, Whack has messaged me several times and said, whoa, what do you mean? You're going to try and kill them in episode 1? We can't afford that much character artwork. And I said to him, well, it looks like you're going to have to cough up, bucko. Because I'm killing them the first chance I get. Because I'm doing everything different.
Also, just some
we were
leftist.
watching a video, right?
Hell yeah. What is a golden rule you try to follow for hashtag D&D or other hashtag TTRPG for folks at home? That's tabletop role-playing game. The golden rule I try to follow is you're playing with your fellow players, first and foremost. If you follow every rule and stay completely in line with the module, the books are never going to say thank you. You're playing with other human beings at the
Maya
table.
would.
Stay tapped in to what their experience is. Are they having fun? Are you all telling a story together? That is the measure of a great tabletop game. At PHX Mall asks, what's your favorite character race and class combo for D&D? I tend to come back to Paladin and Wizard. I love a Paladin's oath, striving for honor and justice. We did a photo shoot a while back with wonderful Andrew Max Levy as a Paladin. Who doesn't love a knight in shining armor? It's a classic hero archetype. And you get to smite. Who doesn't love to smite? Give me those D8s. And I also like wizards because they're very magical, but they weren't born that way. They had to work very hard to get magical, and I identify with that. But for the person asking this question of, is there a certain advantage? Typically, there are certain things that dovetail. Like if you're gonna play a barbarian, which is a strength-based class, there are gonna be certain ancestries that give you a bonus to strength in some editions of the game. There's also some fun stuff about playing a character that's a little bit more well-rounded. Every so often it can be cool, even if you're playing a strength-based character, to go, oh, and because of this part of my background, I have a weird little cantrip or a magic spell I can do. Even though it might not be optimal, that weird little
That's what I did with Ty in Spellwind, and everyone is like, Ty was so min-maxed, and I'm like, oh, but he wasn't. It's just that's how disgusting a fighter rogue is. He was a fighter rogue with the fucking swashbuckler thing going on and the magic initiate. What's it? Feet. It's disgusting. That's just crap. I couldn't even use the spell that I got from the magic initiate feat for like most of the campaign. And yet it was still so strong. But he wasn't min-maxed.
Power that doesn't exactly fit into your build may be the thing that saves you and your friends from a total party kill. At Delusional Do 1, how do you handle a TPK?
Here we go.
Do you full reset or just pick up at the last save spot? Any other things you like to do after a party wipe? Handling a TPK, which for folks at home is a total party kill. It is when every member of an adventuring party dies all at once. I think
pretty hard to just kill one player as well, right? This is the other thing. I have no problem killing one character, but if you kill one character in a combat, it's pretty rare that it doesn't lead to a TPK. That's the other thing. It creates such a fucking, like, snowball, but I don't know what else. What's the other word for snowball? Wait, the creature awakens. Oh, missed it. A cascade, a domino effect. In that quite often when you kill one player character, it is the thing that leads to, I know, Wack. This is why I tried not to use that word, because everyone always says it. It creates, the landslide of very likely the other players are going to die now as well. So it's like killing one player character is great. Is the best possible outcome for a random combat or almost any combat, because that really changes things up. It mixes things up. It's fucking great to watch. The best episodes of anything are when one of the characters dies or very almost dies. You know, when you're watching TTRPG shows, those are always the best ones. You're on the edge of your fucking seat. But TPK is the end of the campaign and the end of the show a lot of the time. So it's like, oof. It's a rough line to walk. But I would, if I could, I would only ever kill one player. I would love to just, this one fucking dies. I'm gonna do it in my next campaign. There's just gonna be a point where whatever they're fighting kills one of them and then just turns around and leaves, and you'll know that deep down it's me. But actually, you know, the thing is like, me done. Just leaves them with this one thing. The Sin River fighting pits. Yeah, I mean, I've done it a few times. It happened in Storm King's Thunder. I feel like I did it again. I can't remember when. There's another point where one character died. The others got to carry on. But still, it's just the you have to be right at the end of a fight. If it happens pretty early on, you are down a player, and it really fucks you up in D&D to be down a player if you have a balanced fight.
Sometimes the best way to handle a TPK is before it happens. If you're heading towards a battle that is absolutely punishing and stands a chance of really wiping out everybody in the party, say it. Say it above the table and say it in game. Have a moment where you check in with your players and go, hey, no shame in running. This has a chance of killing everybody in the party. Take your time. You approach the dungeon. Drums beat in the dark. Fires flicker from torchlight. The smell of death is everywhere. Taking the time to add some gravitas can sometimes wake your players up and go, oh, our buddy is suddenly being very dramatic and serious. I think we might be in trouble. If you do all that due diligence and say, hey, you can make a brave last stand here, you all may die. When they do, they had some agency in it. The thing that makes a TPK really unbearable is when players feel like it happened for no reason. At sessions canceled. Why do we always start games in tavern? Some groups tend to make their characters isolated from one another. Where do people congregate? In a medieval setting, in a public house, in a place of drink and libation and revelry. I would say probably there's a deeper answer here, and I haven't seen anything written about this, but I would hazard a guess that it is in maybe unconscious homage to the end of The Prancing Pony in Bree, where Strider first meets the hobbits in Lord of the Rings, which is a seminal text and serves as the basis for a lot of the lore within Dungeons & Dragons. This next question comes to us from @RottenWork. Does anyone have any tips for a first-time DM? I'm having my first session 0 for a campaign tomorrow, and I am nervous.
I did it in Darkfire as well.
LOL. First of all, laughter will help, so I'm glad that you're lolling. Second of all, you're doing a session 0? My friend, you're way ahead of the curve. Session 0, for those who don't know, is a pre-campaign session where DMs will line up. Sometimes people will do character creation there. Sometimes that happens beforehand, and the session 0 is just to line up what the adventure is going to be about, any rules of engagement. So the fact that you have got your situation buttoned up enough that you're doing a session 0, you're off to a great start. Second of all, tips. What's the nugget? Brennan, what's the secret little sauce? There's not one. You gotta slug it out like the rest of us. You gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta jump in 2 boots first and run the game. Is your first session gonna be clean? Are you gonna remember every rule? Are you gonna nail every NPC? Maybe yes, maybe no, but the point is this. Your first session is the learning experience. You're gonna jump in and you're gonna learn so much more in that first session than any internet dungeon master could tell you. That being said, the answers lie in your players. Just listen to them, tap into what is bringing them joy, and you will do wonders, my friend. Rooting for you. This one's from @Gary.
Gary! We knew he was gonna be in there. We knew he was gonna be in there. Imagine it comes up and just says, "My dungeon master cancelled on me again for the Tuesday game. What do I fucking do?"
268-174-38.
God, it is
26
Gary.
million and some odd Garys before this one. What in the world is a critical roll? Don't you mean a nat 20? You're thinking of a critical hit. A nat 20 is the highest possible roll on a 20-sided die. When you get that nat 20 roll, on an attack roll, it's an automatic hit and it deals double damage. Thrilling. Most DMs, and I would say the fun ones, not to put myself on one side of a fence, will homebrew that a nat 20 is also an automatic success on a skill check. Now, this does certain things to game balance. The game rules
That's how you know if you're
does
fun
not
or
say that a nat 1 is an
boring.
automatic failure or a nat 20 is an automatic success. But I am part of a camp of dungeon masters that believe if the possibility for success or failure does not exist on a given roll, why are you asking for it in the first place? Just say it's impossible. If you're gonna ask someone to roll a die and they roll a nat 20 and they still don't succeed, it doesn't feel very good. And we're here to feel good, so. This next question is from Andy Doodle 56. Question for #Dungeon Masters. If D&D is improv, in parentheses, yes and, with dice, what do you do when the dice really don't want to tell the same story that you do? There's a great expression, which is that the dice tell the story. You're taking a D20, you're rolling it. It's the most climactic roll of the campaign. I attack and get an 11. I needed a 19 or higher. I missed my opportunity. Perhaps I will be struck down the mountainside here. Your job as a dungeon master is to immediately start to think about what the story beat is that accompanies failure. Failure is not anathema to storytelling. Failure is a key and critical component of storytelling. Downbeats, moments of ruin and wrath, these are what drive heroes on to greater and greater ends. The reason we play with these dice is so that we can surrender control. Maybe this isn't the big heroic victory you thought it was. Maybe this is actually a setback. Wild Magic Surge.
That was, as much as it probably sounds like I don't do that with everything I just said about maybe fudging some scenes to fit an overarching narrative for a table story show. The way I learned how to not be a fucking control freak through just failure, through rolling so badly as a DM, through planning one thing and the players fuck it up. I am so much more of a healthier human being psychologically, and I would imagine probably just within my personality as a whole. As awful as my personality is, I understand. I was worse. I was so much more controlling and so much more like overbearingly annoyed when things wouldn't go the way I expected, planned, or hoped. Now I fucking don't give a shit, and it has extended to my real life so much. Obviously, we all want things to go the way we want them to go, and you know, you might be you're doing your fucking final exam for a fucking doctorate, and it goes wrong, and you know, you don't get to be like, well, at least that I learned how to be out of control. But yeah, just generally speaking, the level of control freak that I used to be, was obliterated by running D&D for probably only about 6 months, and over the last few years, don't care. Saying yes and to the dice, accepting when stuff that you've planned has gone wrong and isn't happening, or you know, just isn't going the way you wanted it to, and then just having to, and this is when you have to flex a creative part of your brain. If you're the type of DM that I am, the thing that you get out of DMing isn't the storytelling or the control. It isn't like being the character of the world and stuff. You can take some stuff from that, but for me, it's literally creative workout. If I don't do creative stuff, I get depressed. I get fucking sad. I feel like life just color drains out of the fucking world, and I just start to get really fucking like ugh and sluggish with purposeless existence. If I'm DMing something, sometimes this will happen to me in between shows because I'm not running something and I don't get to flex this creative muscle. But this is my workout creatively, weekly. I will run a show, I will play a game, I will do something, and I will fucking, and I'm there, and you're just fucking working out your creative brain. And I am exhausted at the end of it. But that fucking just sickness of not using my creative brain doesn't set in. And this is where that comes in. This is where that, if you're just following the rules and reading a module, you're not using as much of your creative side. It doesn't, I'm not saying that's not the way to DM. It's just, this is why I like to do it. It's one of the things I massively get out of it on a personal level, is that when something's going wrong and I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, I've not prepared for this in any way whatsoever, I'm now fucking pulling shit out of my ass. And then you fall down the mountain because he's kicked you off of it. Make me a saving throw. And you failed that as well. You go tumbling off the edge of the cliff. There's a horrible drop into the water. And then you're like, what do you mean there's water? There's a river. There's a river. It's fucking sending you out to sea. Roll me a fucking con save. And you're like having to make up some shit. And it has to match the energy of the fact that they were just in the boss battle against the fucking, you know, Captain Skull. Captain Skull's fucking kick you off the mountain, you land in the water, you know, and now you're like, oh shit, fucking, you make your con save, you're not drowning, something fucking tugs at your leg, what do? I try and swim away, maybe an athletics check, you fail, you're dragged upwards, weirdly enough, you feel yourself pulled upwards, you are caught in a net, you've been caught by a fisherman in a fishing net, and you're dragged onto the side of a ship, a bunch of orcs are looking down at you. In fishing gear, little fucking ripped up beanies and fucking checkered coats. One of them with a big cigar in his mouth says something in Orcish down to you. What do? You know what I mean? Now you have this whole arc of this story where your character has been pulled out of the fucking sea by a bunch of orc fishermen because you were dragged out into the ocean, into the swell. The rest of the party were fucking fighting the fucking guy. I'll be honest with you, I'm actually more interested in what the fuck is going on with this fishing boat than I am about the fight on the mountain now. You know? And I just made this up off the top of my head. And that is DMing, dude. That shit will teach you how to be less of a fucking control freak in your life. You'll realize, you'll DM for 6 months after being a control freak type, and you're no longer a jealous boyfriend. You know? Your wife's like, I'm going out wearing this. And you're like, cool, you look great. I hope you have a fucking great time. You know? You're not like, oh, I'm going out of my cage and I've been feeling just fine. You're not, you know? You're not a control freak. You're not like, well, I have to go here at this time of the day. You know? You're just like, yeah, it's all good, man. Fishing boat with orcs on. Great. It was really, really useful for me to learn as a slightly younger man. Probably a lesson I should have learned earlier in life, but you know.
What's your favorite D&D 5e spell?
And it's a creative work.
Is it shield? I love shield. It's just really fun. Reaction, +5 to your armor class. I think favorite D&D 5e spell, fireball, fly.
As a player, shield
I will
is
say
the
this,
best.
3rd level is the best spell level. All the most fun spells are 3rd level spells. At Lee, 51,765,627. I want to learn to play Dungeons and Dragons. How do I find people willing to play with a newbie? Well, yeah, I love playing with newbies. Playing with newbies is the best. But you are right. It is hard to find a group to play with.
The irony of the conversation we had, and Ninja's like, command, the one where I can take complete control of everything that's happening, and I'll make sure that I can I cast command on the other players at the table and take their loot at the end of the combat.
To do, honestly,
you fucking piece of shit. What, did you not listen to a word I said? Get the fuck out of here, Ninja.
If you have people you're close with, you have a group of friends, all learn the game together. It doesn't matter.
I don't know if I haven't read the new command rules.
It feels arcane or
I've only read the new actual DMing rules. I don't know the spells yet.
You love. If the crew around you, if you're
in fact, the only thing I've looked at is character creation changes, which I love, by the way. I saw a couple of people saying that they ain't huge fan of some of the character creation changes and stuff. I love all of them. I like all of it. I like that you get all your skills from the thing, and I like it. I'm a fan. The changes to the rules as a DM and like the combat rules and stuff, there's only a few, but they all seem fine to me. But I haven't looked at any of the changes to the spells, and I'm just not going to be honest, until I need them. Until the spell is either my character that I'm playing is using the spell, or I'm DMing and the spell comes up and they say this is how, in my head I'm like, well, prestidigitation goes like this, and then they go, actually it's this now, and I go, oh, okay, and then I find out then. Which you will all be able to witness probably throughout the next couple years of table story shows. Surprise round integration is kind of neat. Yeah, I like surprise as well. I can't remember what the change was, but I agree. Whatever it was, I was like, yep, that's better. I like most of the changes. It feels... Whoever made all these changes at D&D, it feels like they're the type of DM that I am, closer to the type of DM that made the original set of rules for 5e. I don't know who did which. I don't know who was in charge of what. Maybe it's the same people. I don't know. But I prefer generally the feel of how they've gone with a lot of these 2024 changes. And most of them make sense to me. There are a couple that I was like, this just is pointless. But yeah, I haven't looked at any of the spells because I'm not the type of person who can just learn something by reading everything about it. It's just no point. I'll just wait for it to show up in play.
And network aren't as interested in tabletop games as you are. Frequenting game nights at your local game store. Have game nights where you can come and meet people and join a table. And there's also services online to find physical but also digital play groups. So Start Playing Games is a company that serves as a sort of matchmaker to not only hook people up with other people to play with, but also dungeon masters. Matching services for dungeon masters that charge for their services. There's free dungeon masters, there's free groups that get together there. All these things are available for you at your disposal. So there's a range of options, but yes, it is a challenge, but there are ways to do it. Here's one from Bex Schwartz on Blue Sky. Thanks, Bex. Hi, intrepid hero Brennan Lee Mulligan. How does your prep for an adventure in someone else's campaign, such as Exandria and Critical Role's Calamity, differ from your preparation for the Worlds Beyond Number that you are building? Thank you for the question, Bex. I deeply appreciate it. Shout out to Worlds Beyond Number, the podcast that I do with Bria Iyengar, Erica Ishii, and Lou Wilson, edited by Taylor Moore. I was fortunate enough to get invited to come and run a series in Exandria for Critical.
Who was it that taught me? Do you remember who taught me how to copy OBS Studio? Who was it? Do you remember when I was like, man, I have Streamlabs OBS for this channel. I have OBS Studio for Table Story, and I needed a third one for the Brad Random channel. And then someone was like, you do this, and you basically create a weird little clone of OBS Studio, which I did, and now I run the Brad Random channel from a copy of my Table Story OBS Studio. And I think it was Carl as well, but like it is so the most useful thing. One, if it ever breaks or goes wrong, I have no idea how to fix it. I can never update my computer or change computers or anything, because if I lose it, it's gone. And two, we need to get this for PB and Whack, because they go live on Table Story every time they go live on their own channel first. They just fucking jump scare everyone in the entire fucking Table Story Discord and anyone who has notifications on for channels going live, and it suddenly goes, oh, on Friday they have a new show called Don't Die. Are you looking forward to it? Yeah. What time is it on? It's on at like 8 p.m, like 3 Eastern. And then it goes, wrong. It's on right now. It's live. And they're clicking and trying to find it. And we have to put a stop to this. I'm going to do the politician thing. This is what I'm running for. We have to put a stop to this. We've got to stop these people, Pumpkinberry and Wax Steven, from doing this every week. Why do they do this? It's because they're not allowed to point, isn't it? Politicians aren't allowed to point, so they do this. See, they notice they always do this, or they do this. Because what they want to be doing is this. You fucking do as I fucking say. Because they're fucking evil. Every single fucking one of them's evil. They're all fucking evil. I don't give a shit what you say. Yeah, I mean, blew the excitement for when the channel goes live tonight right out of the water. Also, every time you guys done it, I'd say, what, 1% of people turn off notifications immediately, because that's what I would fucking do. Oh, they just fucking go live every day and it's fucking annoying. I'm just turning off the notifications. Now everyone doesn't have notifications on for when we go live on Table Story, and it is exclusively Pumpkinberry's fault. What's he talking about?
I was fortunate enough to get invited to come and run a series in
this is spoilers. I want to watch
for
this.
Critical Role as a part of their Exandria Unlimited.
Can't do it.
For D&D and TTRPG friends, what is your favorite magical item? The immovable rod! Small metal wand that has a button on it, and when you click it, it cannot be moved in space. That might sound trivial. The amount
PB
of
has moved on to the
shenanigans people
muted
get
thing
up to.
now.
Click
PB has always started every single game muted. I don't know if she's ever not done this. Brad is the most perfect GM of all time. I have never gone live when I didn't mean to on Table Story. I have never been muted when I didn't want to be. And I don't think I've ever had a tech issue that I didn't solve entirely by myself. So I agree with that. PB just goes live on her own channel without realizing it. That is my greatest fear. It's not like I'm just sat here with like my fist up my own asshole and I'm like, oh no, I went live. It's just, I wouldn't like, it would be very hard for you to catch me doing anything weird. You know, because I don't use this computer for much weird stuff. You might think I do, but I don't. And, but I just hate the idea that I don't realize that I'm live and I'm just sat here picking my nose and fucking, you know, just doing whatever I'm doing, watching some stream. And I'm just like, and no one knows. Oh, you know. And I know that it's stupid because you all watch me play games and I have my stupid concentration face on and I look fucking slack-jawed and stupid when I'm trying to do a puzzle in Zelda or something, you know. You've all seen me look absolutely the worst I could ever look. But it's just something about being aware, like, it's just awful. Do you put your lens cap on when you're not live? No, but I turn the camera off. But there are times when I don't turn it off. There was a point, do you know, this is the worst fucking thing. I think it was like Christmas. I was away. I didn't have the thing on for like 2 days or something like that. It was like a weekend or something. And I went and sat down and turned the fucking camera off and was like, shit, man, that thing was on for like 4 days. God, you know. But yeah, I think it's pretty hard. It was Carl. Where did you find it? It was in the thing. Can you link it to me? Or just give me a thing to search for and I'll like pin it for myself. Hi, Inchechio. Yeah, I don't put the lens cap on. I'm absolutely in danger, but it is my greatest fear. Oh, you did, Lux, already well ahead of me. All right. Let me just copy paste this. It was fucking wizard boy. Let me see if I can copy paste this into here. No, it didn't work. Fuck. Why didn't that copy and paste? It can't copy paste bullet points? That's super fucking annoying. How did he format this so well?
Making it to fly, like jumping up like an acrobat. Someone was on an airship being chased by another airship, leaned off the back, clicked it, and left it in the air. And then you have to decide what happens when an airship collides with a ruler-sized bar of metal that cannot be moved no matter what. Chaos, the immovable rod. This next one's from Brycing Wolf on Reddit. What common D&D related behavior or quirk really grinds your gears? Mine is when people call the fighter class the warrior or call the wizard the mage. Not even sure why, but it makes me hate you a little. Brycing Wolf, do not give in to hate.
Yeah,
they know
insane.
not what they do. I think for me, probably the biggest pet peeve has to do with a player making a choice as a character that really grinds the adventure to a halt. I think sometimes people will hide behind the sort of lens of it's what my character would do and will do things that are a little bit antisocial at the table. And ultimately, there's not that much a dungeon master can do if you decide that your character wouldn't go on an adventure. If a DM comes out and says, your village is in danger. Your loved ones are in jeopardy. The fate of the world hangs in the balance and you alone hold the sword of destiny. And you go, I run. I'm getting out of Dodge. Good luck. Well, that's kind of the story over. Actually, I am incorrect. What's your favorite weird niche bit of lore that isn't fully developed? D&D created a cosmology for the afterlife called Planescape. And it made it really, really weird because they never kind of thought they were going to go there. And then they built an edition that was actually set there. An infinite tower arises and ends in a torus of stone, like a big stone donut. On the inside rim of that donut is the city of Sigil, and within Sigil there is a lady of pain who has forbade all gods from entering that city, and her servants are known
Orkish went out and bought a bunch of Lemsip and Gatorade. Had an actual panic attack. Went and bought a bunch of Lemsip and Gatorade. I told him to buy vitamin C and vitamin D, and he came back with Lemsip and Gatorade, by the way. What a fucking loser. As a private DM, fuck you, dude. What are you going to do about it? You going to try and fight me with your little fucking COVID-filled body? What are you going to fucking do? Cough on me? I just fucking made all the antibodies. I'm strong. I'm good. I just had it. I'm over it. You're gonna fucking do? Show up? I could throw corn at you. You couldn't throw anything with your little fucking limp-wristed, fucking COVID-riddled body, struggling with anxieties. You can't even stand up. You got the fucking IQ. You haven't got the battle IQ to take me on. You fucking the IQ of someone who's just literally 20 minutes ago had a stroke. That's what you've got going on. You embarrassment. The fuck away from me, you pussy. What are you going to do, huh? You're going to stop me from telling everyone that you went out and bought some Lemsip and Gatorade instead of some fucking vitamin C? Eat an orange. God, they're the most American thing, you know?
I got this radioactive isotope. That should help.
You fucking embarrassment. Hi, pandas. I'm just having a nice friendly chat with my close personal friend Orkish.
The Dabus. Tony DiTerlizzi, the original illustrator for them, I always think of them as big, tall, white-haired ooze.
Yeah, an actual orange Orkish. Jesus
through
Christ.
Emoji. They make little weird hieroglyphs out of light over their heads that only the Dabus can read. I think about them every day. What a crazy bit of lore.
PD wants to do
Aiden
Planescape,
Lair
right?
says, why did people think playing D&D was satanic? You're literally fighting Hellspawn half the time. That's a great question, Aiden. There's sort of two answers to this. One is D&D, by involving elements of folklore and mythology, had elements of things adjacent to the occult. There's a deeper answer, which is that back in the 1980s, it was like evangelical, moral panic about that. But really, the evangelical right in this country needs to manufacture outrage to hold on to its voting bloc. So that's your real answer. It was arbitrary, as the targets of their outrage always are. You know, fight the power. Are you going to think that? This next question comes to us from Shuffleopagus. I wonder how much prep a DM like hashtag Brennan Lee Mulligan does.
So
like,
good.
What do his notes look like?
Off the cuff.
His notes are
Thanks,
garbage.
Lilies.
I
Don't know
have
why you did
terrible
it, but
notes.
thank you.
My 14-year home game that I ran, the system
looking
I
after
had for
pandas?
how to
Good.
manage the lore was at the end of
after him.
14 years,
Sweet boy.
412
He
page
needs looking after.
indecipherable Google Doc.
I'm sorry, what
Paragraphs
was
of
this
lore
question?
for how to- I have terrible.
I was looking at pandas'
What do his
perfectly
how much
crafted
prep
body.
a DM like hashtag Brennan Lee Mulligan does? Like what do his notes look like? My notes are garbage. I have terrible notes. My 14-year home game that I ran, the system I had for how to manage the lore was at the end of 14 years, 412 page indecipherable.
That's what Lacrin
Google
looks
Doc.
like. Every time
Paragraphs
you
of-
people are like, hey, release the Lacrin stuff, I'm like, it would be like you'd have to hire one of those people that deciphers an ancient hieroglyphic fucking language, you know? One of those like fucking, what's it called? Paleolithic era fucking cavemen language, alien bullshit, and then turn it into a book that other people understand and can read and make sense. It's fucking, I don't, even at the end of running a 3-year campaign, let alone a 12-year one, a 3-year campaign, I was having to decipher my own stuff because I was like doing more research than I was just GMing off the dome. It was nuts. It's just fucking chaos. Bunch of random notes. Some of my notes were random as fuck. I would be like, oh my god, I need this piece of very important, huge, like pinnacle moment lore things that happened in Dustvale, and I'd go back in my notes and I'd fucking be searching mid-session, looking up what was it. It was like the most important thing. Everything in this world hinged on it, and I'd just find the note that I wrote, and it would just be like all lowercase writing, and it would just say giant tree man. And I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean, giant tree man, Brad, from 3 years ago? This is the most important thing in the entire fucking universe. And it just says giant tree man. What's his name? What did he talk like? What the fuck? Where did he come from? The button sausage. What does it look like? What does it do? What's the law? What's the rules? What the fuck? Giant tree man? He's not even a tree. He's not even a tree, and he never has been. What the fuck does giant tree man? It was horrible. It was horrible. It was crazy. Like, especially the earlier it is, the less notes there were about it. Rachel Weisz.
Of lore interspersed with random initiative counts, unlabeled as to what battle they referenced. Terrible stuff. So, if there is any part of you that doubts your abilities as a GM based on having seen a GM out there in the world with like an incredible digital spreadsheet, or I know DMs whose prep work is flawless. Matt Mercer rolls up to the table with
stapled sheets of paper with all of the lore of the setting. And I got like a bullet point list on a Google Doc and a wish and a prayer. And that's about it.
That's why I have a lot
rely
of the time.
a lot on improvisation. That stresses some DMs out. Other people rely a lot on preparation. That stresses other DMs out. Find your style that's right for you. It brings the most joy to your players and your table. This one's from @YumDM. How many different editions of D&D do you actively play? I play most actively 5e. Up until last year, I was also playing 3.5 extremely actively. There are many editions of the game. I came into the game playing 2nd edition. You want to talk about crunch? Come talk to me about Thaco, baby, to hit armor class 0. Imagine a 10-year-old boy with 2 sliding sheets of graph paper to align a set of negative integers with the value of a die roll. That required some math.
Fuck that,
Negative
dude.
numbers are good.
I've heard
tough.
so much
However,
about like the Thaco stuff from the early editions of D&D. Nah. Are all DMs in love with Matt Mercer? No, not at all, Lilies. No. Some people fucking hate him so much. Critical Role is the worst baseline for anything I've ever seen in my entire life. Because it's just an insane fandom in every possible way. They're either like sycophantically cultish, insane nutcases who they can do nothing wrong, and they're just obsessive, or they're like they just absolutely fucking hate those guys. They're like, it's scripted, it's shit, it's not even that good. You know, those people that can't handle being alive. I think he's a brilliant DM, though. I think he's a brilliant DM. I think there's a reason. There's a reason they did so well. There's a reason they've got this just terrifying, sycophantic, cult-like audience, and then also some of the worst haters on the internet. If I had to side with either side, I would side with the cult. I've watched a lot of it now. I had previously not seen a huge amount of Critical Role up until last year, and now that I've watched almost the entirety of Campaign 2, it's all I've seen. I get it. He's just very good. I mean, a lot of them are. He is as well. There's a couple of GMs out there that are amazing. What's that woman called? There's a third one. What's her name? But Matt has an ability to somehow, the reason I like him is that he makes it feel like a book, basically. He is the quintessential I'm reading a page of a book DM, and then he hands it over to his players, and he's so good at that. Abria, is that her name? Yeah, I've seen clips of her. I've not watched her GM anything, but she seems good too, in a completely different way though. Is she the one who has flowcharts? She does flowchart DMing. I think that I watched a bunch of stuff about her talking about that. She just creates flowcharts and then runs a session, and her notes is a flowchart, which is fucking cool as shit. He's like an improv master. But Matt is really very good at just describing something perfectly, and you can tell there are times when he's pre-prepared something and he speaks and he sets the scene, and there are times when he's just doing it off the dome and it's very close. And that, I think, makes it special, because I know firsthand what that feels like, the difference between having to describe an area that's important, or a villain, or a character, or whatever, a room, that kind of DMing. When you are able to sit and think about it, and the difference between that and when you have to just do it off the dome. And either way, for me, he feels like he is just reading a page off of a fucking book, man. It's like an audio book. He's so good at it. But he knows his shit as well. He knows his shit. He knows all of the stuff. He is extremely experienced. He has an incredible cast, which a lot of people are like, he's not that great of a DM. He just has the best cast ever. And that's not true, but it does help. I know how that feels too, being someone who exclusively is only good at DMing because I have amazing players and I couldn't DM. If you just put fucking 4 idiots in front of me, it would be the worst thing you've ever seen in your entire life. My stomach is rumbling, if you can hear that, by the way. I don't know what's happening to it because I've eaten too much chocolate today. It's gonna do something to me. I don't know what. But if you ever see people arguing against Matt Mercer, the only reason they're doing it is jealousy, I think. The only reason they're doing it is jealousy. Whether they're jealous of him as a DM and his craft, whether they're jealous of Critical Role's success, I don't think that there is a subjective or an objective reason to argue against him. There is no, I said that on purpose, a subjective. I think your opinion is wrong. I rarely say that and mean it. He is genuinely incredibly good at what he does, and on top of that, he's a fucking voice actor, so he gets to just be able to, he's a good actor, but he's also able to just pull out these incredible voices and make these very interesting NPCs. I'm extremely jealous of his NPCs. A lot of people say they like my NPCs and stuff, and I'm just like, they're so shit, it's unbelievable. Place any one of them next to his worst one, and it is just like, and I'm not talking about just being able to voice act, because I don't think that necessarily makes for an NPC, but it's just like, he's very, very good at that. I just think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time. He's very good at pacing stuff. I think the only thing is that maybe the only thing that an area that he might be able to improve upon, and honestly, I think probably has done over the years, is that he's not very cinematic. It doesn't feel very much like he's running a show a lot of the time. It feels like he's just running a game of D&D for his friends, which is all you want it to be. But when you look at something like fucking one of PB's campaigns or something like that, if you look at something like Gone, that feels like you're watching a TV show. That feels like watching Severance to me, which is a slightly different art that you can weave into the skill of GMing, which I think we've covered a lot. I think I have it a little as well, and because again I approach a lot of these things like episodal TV shows, so we get very good on Table Story at like cliffhangers and pacing over the course of a season of a show, and I feel like Matt is just running D&D for his friends, and so it will just end at random points. Like he just finds places for it to end and then ends it there and stuff. So sometimes you're like, it's a big cliffhanger, and sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's just they're in the middle of a conversation and it just ends and picks up from there next week. But I mean, it's astonishing how good he is at what he does. That isn't even a criticism of him. I would just say it's just a difference in maybe our styles. But one thing that is surprising when you watch something that's as high quality and has as much funding and stuff as Critical Role does, that it isn't approached or produced in that way exactly, which is why I'm always surprised. Like that, the whole argument, and this could go on, we could be here for hours about the whole Critical Role is scripted thing, winds me up so much because it's insane. And it's the same argument as, well, it's the same argument as people that come in here and argue with me about backseating and spoiling games and movies and stuff, in that everyone has a different fucking definition of what spoilers are. And everyone has a different definition of what scripted means. So you'll see people getting into these arguments on the internet where they're like, Critical Role is scripted. And then someone will be like, no, it's not. And then you realize that both of them come to the same conclusion that obviously Matt has milestones and story beats and stuff, but every DM does. Every fucking D&D campaign in the world is scripted. You think a module isn't a script? That's what, you know, but what do you mean by scripted? Because to me, scripted means they have lines that they follow, not slight direction, not ideas, not Matt being like, okay, in this session, it would be great if you guys would fight the Pegasus, the evil Pegasus. That's just normal. I do that. I've done it. I don't do it that often. That is every fucking show. It's just insane. But people will be like, that's scripted. Dude, that's just D&D. And yeah, like it's a bit like what I was saying earlier on with table stories. Sometimes I have to be like, this is going to happen or this is going to happen. The most scripted thing I've done in years was at the back end of Cura, when I told the players how I was going. I basically handed them the structure of the final episode. I was like, this is what I want to do, and I think it would be more interesting. I didn't just do it to them. I said, look, I have two ways I want to approach this final episode. We just go into it like it's D&D, and I run you through the finale of how I've planned it. Or I tell you what's going to happen, because there's a couple of very interesting things I think we could do that I might be able to produce for the viewers that I think would make this a more impactful show ender. It's a bit more produced, you know, it's a bit more quote unquote scripted, but I think it would make for a more interesting bookend for our show. And they all said, I think we'd be more interested in doing that one. So I told them the structure for the ending. I didn't tell them anything about what was going to happen. I didn't tell them they actually did have 3 lines that I told them to say, because I pre-recorded them, and then said to them, I'm going to edit those in to the intro, and then I just would like you to somehow naturally get to that point and say that line. It wasn't like a script where they had to hit it. I just said, try and get that, you know, at some point you have to say these lines. So they did that, which is just a fun game for them. They didn't know about like the final boss. They didn't know about like the HP. They didn't know anything about like the other dragon and stuff. They didn't know all that stuff. I won't say any spoilers or anything, but they only knew the vague structure, and pretty much I was like, these are some of the rules about what's going to happen here. So they knew some like major beats and stuff to hit. Like, that's it. I would do that every episode and not feel guilty about it. I don't, because I do enjoy I'm a cards close to my chest DM. I like to be able to present everything naturally to my players at the same time as, say, the audience or whatever, and they get the true experience of being able to play a game of D&D. But that is the most I can imagine that they get to on Critical Role. It is too live, too improv, too random. You can't predict. They can't predict these dice rolls. They can't predict all this stuff. It's just impossible. I've run this too much. I can't believe how many DMs out there think that Critical Role is as scripted as it is. You're stupid. How are you running games? You must be the worst DM of all time. How dumb do you have to... It is impossible. Have you run a game? Have you rolled a dice? Have you had a player fuck up something? You must be the most controlling worst. You must be literally the exact thing that you hate on this show for being. You're so stupid. It is impossible. There's no way. The maximum that they have, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do it relatively often, but even this, I'm actually not sold that they do very much, is what I said, where Matt might say to them, we're going to hit this beat, we're going to do this, and I'd like to get to this point today. You know, which is completely fair. It's a professional show. It's so fucking hard. I mean, there are times when they have like live episodes upcoming, and I'm like thinking in my head, he's like, yeah, in 2 weeks we're going to be doing this live at the Chicago Theater, and I'm like, well, you have to make that one good. You have to make that one special, right? If you said to me in 2 weeks your next episode of your show is going to be live in front of an audience, I wouldn't just go fucking fly by the seat of my pants. I would be like spending the next 2 weeks getting my players into position to be doing a live show the week after that. It has to be unique and interesting for a live audience to enjoy, you know? And it like, even when he's doing that, it feels like he's not even fucking making them hit story beats. They just continue as if he hasn't even thought about it. There is no way it's as scripted as people think it is. And you see so many people arguing about this thing about like Critical Role being scripted, and it drives me nuts because it's like okay, a lot of the time people's definitions, you need to start this argument with what is your definition of scripted, and then when they give you their definition, you go no or yes, because so many people are like, the definition of scripted is this, and you're like, yeah, that's every game of D&D. Story beats, it's going to get to this point. Play Curse of Strahd. Did you complain when you played fucking Storm King's Thunder that it got to the end of the module and this happened, that it was in the book? No, shut the fuck up. It's insane. It's an insane argument. I do not believe for a fucking second this fucking show is as scripted as people think it is. I think at best it's as scripted as a table story show. And it is not scripted at all. We might sometimes give a little direction, and we might ask the players to get to a certain point because of some bullshit that we have to get them to for some reason. Or you're just like, guys, you've been here for 3 weeks, and I honestly, genuinely think people are turning off. Please just get on the boat. Get on the fucking boat. It's been in the harbour for 3 weeks. Just get in the fucking ship. Jesus Christ. At best, and I very rarely even do that because, you know, most players, I'm pretty good at just being like, look, something's happened and now you're leaving. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I can't even remember how I went on this rant. What made me go on this rant? Oh, DMs that hate Matt Mercer. He's brilliant at what he does. I fucking hate him, by the way. I'm one of those DMs that hates him, but I fully hate him out of absolute envy. He's beautiful. I hate him and his fucking perfect fucking wife and his perfect friends and their perfect life. And he's a brilliant actor and he's a brilliant fucking, he has all this range of voices, and he's got 2 parents and he's beautiful. And he's fucking got this, he's just lucked out so hard on making the most successful D&D show that will ever be made. They've made far too much money. There's no way it's as good as the amount of money it's made. But my God, I do not begrudge them a single fucking dollar. It's insane the amount of money that they've made off of that thing and the things that have come off it and stuff. They are, you know, but he is just brilliant at what he does. He's genuinely good at what he does. He's worked hard to become a successful voice actor. He's worked hard at becoming a brilliant DM. There's no way his work week isn't astonishingly difficult. There's no way he isn't struggling. He has to fly places, do these fucking, he goes to conventions, he comes back, he records all these lines for he's in all these different projects. He then comes back, he preps a fucking show, he makes his fucking minis, and obviously he has lots of help and stuff like that, but he still produces a show, he runs the show, he's the presenter of it, as well as, you know, running this whole thing. It's fucking hard to DM, man. It is so much harder than I think people think. He's earned every like fucking accolade, and yeah, it is crazy to me. I literally, truly only believe the only reason that people genuinely hate on him is straight up envy. And you can either be envious of him in the way that I am, where you just look and you just go, oh man, I wish I had any of that. But fair play. I literally cannot. I would defend him with my life at this point, but fuck you as well. Fuck you. I'll defend you with my fucking life. Or you can't. There are people, and it's most people, just don't know that they're envious and pissed off and being petty and small, and they turn that outwards and they go, well, no, he's not even that good because of this and that and the other. And it's like, yeah, well, I see what you're doing. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Insane that you think that show is scripted, and insane that anyone dislikes him. But people do. People really do hate them a lot. People hate those guys a lot. A couple of those fucking players. And I've not done a lot of like Googling and stuff. This is just shit that come up I've seen over the years. Like, what's her face gets so much fucking hate, dude. I don't know what the fuck she does in campaign 1 of Critical Role. Marisha. The fucking hate she gets online is insane. And I can't figure out why at all. I'm assuming it's just like weird, annoying people that get annoyed when you don't know the rules to the game. is the best that I've been able to figure out, which is just the worst people. Drown them all. Drown them all. Drown every single one of those people. I'm serious, dude. Fucking find them. And drown every one of them.
There are also many other games aside from D&D that I play. Other big ones like Vampire the Masquerade, Call of Cthulhu, Blades in the Dark. My friend Jay Dragon does Wander Home and Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast. There's great indie games out there for anyone who is like, oh, I've had a taste of heroic fantasy and playing Dungeons & Dragons, but I want a sci-fi experience, or I want a more poetic experience, or an even crunchier experience. The world of tabletop role-playing games awaits you. This next one comes to us from @Warforged Dice. D&D players, how do we feel about the new D&D rules / mechanics? Hey, I hear you. I know that we loved so much of the old way the game was played.
Recently?
The changes to Counterspell
This was the
and to
other day.
Divine Smite. Ask yourself this. If you were making a wizard or a paladin, were you allowed to do anything other than those abilities? No, you were not. Counterspell needed to be altered a little bit. Divine Smite needed to be altered.
What was my rule on Counterspell? I've already forgotten. Didn't I switch to the new Counterspell in the old game because I liked it more? I can't remember it. Her character is unlikable. She was a noob. There you go. And her character was a bit unlikable. Yeah. This is the weakest people on the planet. Burn them all. Death. Death to all of them in the video game.
Altered a little bit. Every damage dealing build that was a super damage dealer had to involve Divine Smite. It was mandatory. Counterspell, mandatory. And anytime an ability in a game is mandatory, you have to ask yourself if it's a little bit out of balance. And the druids, letting them talk in wild shape? Yes, let them talk. I always want them to be able to talk in wild shape. That's a rule that just helps DMs out. When is it ever helpful for someone to not be able to speak? It's never helpful. Let the druids talk. I want that dog to talk. @NotCavid. Okay, but what if I said I wanted to play a Wild West setting D&D campaign? What then? We've played in many, many different kinds of settings and genres all across the spectrum. We have Fantasy High, where we play D&D in a high school for fantasy heroes. We play The Unsleeping City. At Madison Square Garden,
We can
there's a
talk
live
in
show
wild
playing
shape now?
D&D at the Garden in
I
New
feel
York
like
City,
I
because
just
The
used to
Unsleeping
allow that
City
anyway,
is
didn't I?
set in a magical version of New York City. We even played a Starstruck
I'm
Odyssey
crazy.
set in the sci-fi
Wasn't Jill
setting
then
of
able to
Anarch
speak?
era, written by noted comics author Elaine Lee. Also my mom, if you can believe that. I adapted my mom's comic book series into a D&D campaign.
That's
There's a lot of
sick.
people who enjoy
That's
home
fucking
brewing
cool as
and
shit.
stretching the creative boundaries, chop shopping or jury rigging what they want their game to be about. Everyone has a different playstyle, and all are valid and good.
No, they're not.
Dickie
The way that Orcish plays is not.
Minaj. So there's a Dungeons and Drag Queen show, and I'm just finding out about this. Yes, you can come over to dropout.tv where we play a mini.
When I'm
series
done
called
with
Dungeons
Critical Role,
and
this
Drag
is all
Queens.
of the
Say
stuff
hi,
I'm watching.
questing
I'm going
queens.
straight into that. That's the first show I'm watching.
With some of the best
For
drag
sure.
performers in the world, Bob the Drag Queen, Alaska Thunder, Jujubee, and Monet Exchange, who are so wonderful and incredible players and had the bravery and the chutzpah to sit down and play D&D for the first time on camera with me. They were phenomenal. The number one
Were
thing
they?
that you want to look for in a new
I don't know.
player is how much they care and how invested they are. And all of them went into it with their full heart.
Wolfman just wrote the words Dungeons and Dragons in chat. Well done, Wolfman. That's right. We've been watching this video for 33 minutes and talking about D&D for about 2 hours, and he's just picked up on the subject matter. The struggle is
And
real.
We're just naturals right away. Took to the game so effortlessly. It was a joy and a privilege to behold. Next
Why
one
did you
comes from
write that?
Bug Hop D. My son just asked a D&D question I don't know how to answer. What does a mimic look like when it's not mimicking? In their natural state, mimics appear as amorphous shapes with speckled gray skin, similar in appearance to granite. But since they are such shape-changing extraordinaires, you'll rarely encounter one in its regular form. Mimics are shape changers, much like doppelgangers. We had a mimic in
I don't
our
know
high
if I've
school
ever
for hero
used a
setting
mimic,
Fantasy
by the
High
way.
that looked like a standard
If
examination.
you subscribe right
room
now, I
desk.
promise I'll
I
put
like
one
to
in my
imagine
next campaign.
That they have a penchant for disguising themselves exclusively as furniture. So, those are all our questions for today.
Very good, Brennan. Very much enjoyed that. Thank you for providing me with like 3 hours of D&D chat content. It's perfect because we have a brand new show tonight on Table Story called Don't Die. Here's the ad. What a great ad, everyone. I think we all enjoyed it. Honestly, the ad is incredible and I wish I could play it. Is it on YouTube? It's got to be. I can just watch the video of it. I don't know. There's no way to know because Pumpkinberry's running it and she is a chaotic mess of a human being. An absolute fucking maniac. Here it is. 1988. Table story licensed by Pumpkinberry. Had to put her name, first name on the list. She's like one of those actors that has to be the first name on the call sheet. You know? Fuck, man. Imagine. You know, I forget to put my name on this stuff a lot of the time, and I'm like, I have to actually include my name in like the tweets and titles and credits and stuff because I forget that I am in it and I'm involved, and that not everyone knows that. It's really weird. Anyway, let's see. What do we got? Oh, I need to get off the screen. Let me start it again. So you can read it. Finally figured out how she did this, by the way. Don't die tonight on Table Story. Another story where PB's like, oh, there's a fucking wound in the world. We're gonna go woundward again. This fucking guy. This fucking guy. That is on Table Story in 2 hours. Guys, if you're interested in watching a brand new D&D 5e show. It's a very short run, so if you're like, I don't know, maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you won't, but there's only a few episodes of it. So it's a great one to just, if you want something to watch tonight, you got some work to do. You got something going on where you can put this on in the background. You want to play Marvel Snap and just have some noise. We got you covered. Don't die. Long form D&D 5e campaign coming shortly as well. Brought to you by me. If you are interested in that, that will be that'll be coming up soon. But to tide you over, to keep you hanging on, PB's got you covered with Don't Die on Table Story tonight. VODs will be available. They go up on YouTube the next day at midday US Eastern Time or at 5 p.m. UK time. And they'll eventually show up on Spotify and stuff as well. So, yeah. I'm very interested to see what she's got planned. Again, I sort of know like bits and pieces about it, but I actually really do not know what she's doing. I don't know how she's doing this mechanically. I don't know what she's got planned. I don't really know. I know no details about the structure of the adventure and the campaign, so I don't. It's very scripted, but yeah, I'm just as excited to find out what she's got planned for us as you guys. Characters are made. I guess we'll see, won't we? 2 hours, Table Story. Fucking see you then. Now, if you'd like a waiting room to sit in, let's go see Wax Steven. Annoyingly, I would stay live for 2 more hours, but if I don't eat today, I won't eat at all. So I've got to go and eat some food and take the dog out for a little wee-wee. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you had fun. I know it was a lot of just like watching. This is what we do on Fridays now, I think. We just fuck around. Sometimes I'll play a game. Sometimes I'll just mess about or whatever, you know. Sunday, we're going to play D&D. Twitch plays D&D on Sunday here. And then next week we get back into all the different games as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks to anyone who subbed. I appreciate it. I'll see you on Table Story in a couple of hours for Don't Die. Don't miss it. Or die. Bye.